The thoughts of those at 5 Live very much with those who've been affected by that terrible incident in Greece this week. So Nottingham Forest against Everton is our first commentary here on 5 Live Premier League Sunday, and they don't stop getting bigger this afternoon. Liverpool against Manchester United coming up at 4:30. Full commentary with John Murray and Dion Dublin. But let's just go back to that point, Clinton. Michael Keane ahead of Conor Coady, of course a player that Sean Dyche knows so well from his time at Burnley. Just his second start of the season after starting for the first time in the Premier League last match at the Emirates.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised, to be fair. I think Conor Coady, since he's gone in there, has been outstanding. And you know what Keane's got? That he's played for Sean Dyche, and so has Tarkowski. So he trusts those two players. I'm not saying he don't trust Conor Coady, but I was very surprised when he left him out in the midweek against Arsenal. I thought he'd bring him back for this game, but obviously he's trusting Keane and Tarkowski at the moment.
So we are underway at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest in possession, playing from left to right in the red shirts, the white shorts and the red socks. Everton in their home kit as well, of all blue, as the ball is over the top, looking for the run of Chris Woods. But the whistle goes from our referee, John Brooks, and Everton have a free kick just outside their own penalty area. And we can take you through the lineup. So for Forest, Navas in goal. The back four of Aurier, Worrell, Felipe and Lodi. Ahead of them it's Freuler, Shelvey and Colback, with Johnson, Gibbs-White and Wood up front. Everton in possession with Coleman over the top, looking for the run of Alex Iwobi, cleared away at the back by Lodi for Forest and sent over the halfway line now, but Coleman will pursue that for Everton and steer it away from Gibbs-White and up towards Iwobi, just inside the Everton half. Everton with Pickford in goal, the back four of Coleman, Keane, Tarkowski and Godfrey. Ahead of them Onana, Gay and Doucouré, with Iwobi and McNeil supporting Damari Gray through the middle. It's Nottingham Forest in possession with Freuler, play the ball back to Joe Worrell outside their own penalty area. And it's been a bit of a running joke, hasn't it, about the number of players that Nottingham Forest brought in. But despite that, they're without so many of them still, particularly defensively, really stretched at centre half as the ball goes all the way through to Jordan Pickford. Felipe and Joe Worrell, pretty much the only options they have there at the moment, as Felipe heads away from the outside of his own penalty area. And although Navas was a great signing in the transfer window, Dean Henderson, their number one, still out. He's a big miss for them, but quality replacement in the Costa Rican number one, as Everton have the ball left hand side approaching the penalty area. Here is Dwight McNeil, goes down under the challenge of Brennan Johnson, and the whistle goes from John Brooks. Some decent position this for the set piece for Everton, wide left position, a couple of yards in from that touchline, just about level with the penalty spot as you look across. Yeah,
it's a cheap free kick. Brennan Johnson's got to do better than that. Everton like set pieces. He gets there and does well. He doesn't need to make the tackle. He's helped out Aurier there, and it's a silly tackle, really stupid tackle. But yeah, going back to your point earlier, Felipe and Worrell saw an opportunity, but Bolly and McKenna had an outstanding partnership.
Yeah, challenge for Steve Cooper to try and readjust, both going off. I was there at that game at Fulham, both going off inside the opening 7 minutes. Steve Cooper said afterwards he'd never seen that before, both centre halves pulling up. As Everton prepare to take this free kick from the left-hand side, it's swung in high to the far stick, headed back across. Nottingham Forest get the interception in with Felipe, who uses his head to nod the ball forward. Doesn't get the distance on it though, and Everton pick it up just outside the Forest penalty area. Down the right-hand side they go, forced midway back to Onana through the Forest half, and now into the penalty area they go, and Michael Keane still up from the corner, and the shot was deflected by Keane, comes back to Damari Gray on the edge of the box, and he blazes over.
Yeah, it's been a good start. I nearly had to eat my words there. That's why Keane was in the team. He done ever so well, and you're thinking, is he going to get the shot off? It's good defending. In the end, the White McNeil was wasteful in his finishing.
Well, they need goals from somewhere.
Yes,
sure, they won't. It's not quite throwing Michael Keane up front as a centre forward yet, but he was in that position up from the corner as Brennan Johnson goes down, and John Brooks gives the free kick to Nottingham Forest just inside the Everton half. And he stayed down here, Brennan Johnson, and a little bit of concern as Gibbs-White comes over and just places a hand on Johnson's back. No movements yet. He's got his hands in his face and looks to be in some pain here. The Nottingham Forest top scorer, 7 goals.
He just wants he'd be all right, to be fair. He was late. Godfrey was late, but if he was in big trouble there, I'm sure that physios would have been running on quicker than that. So, yeah, us centre forwards are a bit precious sometimes. We like a bit of attention, so we get a clap from the fans. We're all right.
You can say that.
Yeah,
Just a little
of course.
ego massage.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Brennan Johnson, perfectly fine. Towards the edge of the penalty area he goes as Shelvey swings the ball into the box. It's met by Worrell, who couldn't control the header. Pickford then down on the byline as he clawed that ball behind, and John Brooks agrees with Everton there that is a free kick, and they have it.
Why does he
inside
always,
their own area.
Vicky, he always gets involved, Pickford? You've got the foul, he's running to the referee. Oh, listen, he's a good goalkeeper. I rate him highly, but he gets involved far too much. Far too much. I can talk. I was worse than him, but wow.
4 minutes gone, goalless at the City Ground here on 5 Live as Pickford prepares to take this free kick. Just in terms of that, is it the sort of thing that if he didn't engage in that sort of way, it might almost prove a distraction to him? Because that's the way. Obviously, he's got to keep a lid on it to an extent and walk that tightrope. But it's just who he is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is who he is, and he upsets a lot of people. But it is frustrating, and especially goalkeepers do it. You can understand outfield players. Maybe I'm being harsh on the goalkeepers, Vic, but yeah, outfield players.
Why do they not get to do it?
Because I just don't like goalkeepers. I do really. But no, I think you're right. He's just always playing on the edge, and that's how he is. If he wasn't doing that, I don't think he'd be the same goalkeeper. You're right.
I don't like goalkeepers. That'll be clipped up for social.
Of course it will.
Within the next 30 seconds. Everton with the throw just inside their own half, which Ben Godfrey prepares to take and sends it back to James Tarkowski. Closed down by Brennan Johnson. Tarkowski squares it to Michael Keane, and then out to the right hand side, and the white booted Seamus Coleman forward looking for the run of Idrissa Gana Gueye. Nice interchange between Coleman and Iwobi, and Gueye, and Iwobi has it once more, central position out to the left hand side now, and picked up by Godfrey, who turns the pace on, plays the ball down looking for Damari Gray. He was challenged, limps away from that, but referee John Brooks is happy with the challenge, and it goes behind for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. 6 minutes gone. It's flown by the start to this match, Clinton.
No, you're right, it has, and Everton have started well. They've started the better out of the two teams. They're on the front foot, they're trying to cause problems, and good run from Godfrey. I understand why he's put Godfrey in the team, because I think Brennan Johnson is their most attacking player with Gibbs White. He's got a lot of pace, and I think he can match him for pace, where Mikalenko might struggle against Brennan Johnson. Yeah,
first start for Ben Godfrey under Sean Dyche. It's only his 4th Premier League start all season, as Alex Iwobi plays the ball into the area looking for the run of Dwight McNeil, who'd taken up that central position, claimed by the tall figure of Keylor Navas. But it'll be interesting to see, won't it? I mean, Damari Gray is playing that central role. Mope on the bench, Calvert-Lewin still out injured, but it was Dwight McNeil who came central there. They do have the option to have a little bit of fluidity, Everton, as they look to try and solve this goal scoring issue that has plagued them all season. Although, as was well pointed out by Nedham in the build up to this on 5 Live Sports, Nottingham Forest have only scored 1 more goal, and we say, Clinton, as Nottingham Forest have a throw just inside their own half, we have faith this will be a good game. It's been a decent opening 7.5 minutes, but we are seeing the Premier League's lowest scorers against the Premier League's second lowest scorers.
Yeah, so we've tried our best to build it out. Hopefully they can prove us wrong and we can have goals in it. But you're right, both teams have struggled massively to score goals, and that's because both teams don't have a number 9. I know they've just brought in Chris Wood, and he scored a goal for them already, but you wouldn't say he's a natural number 9. You'd say he's a target man and people play off him, but he might prove me wrong.
Out to the right-hand side go Everton. Alex Iwobi. Bright start this from the visitors. Iwobi's ball into the penalty area. The header was won by Anana. The Doucouré's in there trying to get the shot away. All very scrappy. Nottingham Forest get a contact. Oh, was that an illegal contact there? Yes, it was. Penalty to Everton. Dwight McNeil going down. Nottingham Forest getting themselves in all sorts of bother, and that bother could increase from the spot here. Big chance for Everton in the opening 8.5 minutes to take the lead. Nottingham Forest are surrounding referee John Brooks. The decision is made. VAR will check it, but Clinton straight away, as McNeil went down, you said penalty.
Yeah, because I can see Shelvey. You can always tell by a player's reaction. And yeah, he gets there late. It is a penalty, to be fair. I don't know why. He doesn't need to make it. He does not need to make it. And he does get there late. It's a penalty. Brooks, the referee gets the right decision there. It's not going to be overturned by VAR. And you can see Shelvey was looking very sheepish with the other Forest players around the referee. When you know you've made contact, Vicky, you don't argue. And he hasn't argued the decision. I think it's a naive tackle from Shelvey, but big opportunity for Everton.
Yeah, no disagreement there. This is not going to be overturned by VAR. So what a chance for Everton to reward their bright start in this huge match at the City Ground.
What are they checking for here? Oh, is it handball on? Look, the Corey. Look there with his hand.
There we go. Yes. So they are now checking the attacking phase of play. So the challenge by Shelby, there's no dispute about that.
Over.
But as you say, Clinton, they were just looking to see
if there was
a handball in the build-up. Good spot.
Yep.
But VAR look happy. Demarai Gray is putting the ball on the spot for Everton. So they've checked it. VAR content with the on-field decision. Keylor Navas, who's made some big saves for Nottingham Forest since arriving in January, up against Demarai Gray from the spot to give Everton the lead, and Gray fires it in. Navas goes the wrong way. What a huge goal for Everton and Sean Dyche early on at the City Ground in this huge relegation clash. It's Everton that draw first blood. It's Everton that lead 1-0 at Nottingham Forest.
And what was he talking about at the start of the show? Played Demarai Gray. I don't know for the life of me why he hasn't played Demarai Gray, because he's been better than Dwight McNeil. He's been Iwobi's better in the midfield, but for some reason he hasn't been playing him. But it's a really confident penalty. The way he steps up, he never looked like he was going to miss. He side foots it, send Navas the wrong way. 1-0 Everton, and they thoroughly deserve it. They started the game ever so well, Vicky.
He's their top scorer this season. It's only his 6th goal of the season, and therein lies the tale of Everton's goal-scoring struggles. But as you say, Clinton, hugely composed penalty from the man who is making just his first start under Sean Dyche. He started all but one Premier League game under Frank Lampard this season. Dyche came in, he fell out of the starting lineup, but he's been given the nod ahead of Maupay today, with Calvert-Lewin still out injured, and Sean Dyche applauding on the edge of his technical area. This has been the perfect start from his side as the ball's all the way through with Pickford.
Yeah, it's disappointing for Forest, because somehow now they have to pick themselves up and go again, because it's a huge game for them as well. Forest have got some tough fixtures. Go to Tottenham next week, so big game for them. But there's still enough time. There's still loads of time left in this game.
Yep, just 11 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live, as the ball is out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. Well, this is a test. This is a test now for the City Ground. We've talked about their home record here. We've talked about the atmosphere, the fact that they haven't lost here in the Premier League since mid-September, but they're behind early on. Demarai Gray's penalty, won by Dwight McNeil, the foul by John Joe Shelby, who clears the ball over the halfway line now for Nottingham Forest. Chris Wood won't be able to bring it forward, but instead sends it back to Felipe out to the left-hand side. Nervy ball from Felipe, won't be controlled by Renan Lodi, and it's all Everton at the moment, Clinton Morrison, as they have a throw on the far side.
He looks nervous, Felipe, and he's played at Atletico Madrid. He's had a good career playing at some top clubs in some big competitions, but he looks really nervous. 2 passes now, gone astray. Just needs to relax. He's not panic. There's a long way to go in this football match, but the fans have to play a big part and get behind the team now.
Everton in possession midway through their own half. Yes, Felipe, league title winner in Spain and Portugal, as you say, Clinton. Huge amount of experience, but it's that lack of options for Steve Cooper with the centre halves out, and even with Serge Aurier back. I mean, they've also got the players that could fill in at centre half. They've struggled to have. I mean, Aurier is one of those, but they would like to play him at right back, which he's doing here. But even the square pegs in round hole options haven't really been available for them either, as the ball is given away. Groan of disappointment from the City Grounders. Everton have it with Tarkowski, right field pass out to the right hand side, and Alex Iwobi. That's a brilliant ball from Tarkowski, collected by Iwobi down by the byline, pulls the ball across, cleared away by Felipe. Thumbs up from Demarai Gray. In truth, wasn't the best ball from Iwobi, but he's looked lively down that right hand side, the Nigerian.
Yeah, he's been one of Everton's best players this season. When Frank Lampard was here, played him in that midfield three, he was the most creative player. Credit to Iwobi, because a lot of Everton fans probably at the start of the season he wasn't a player, or last season, but when Frank came in, he done a really good job in there, and he's still doing a good job on that right hand side.
All the noise coming from the away contingent over to our right, the packed away section, and they're shouting, they're chanting, they're singing, because Everton, as things stand early on in this match, are moving out of the relegation zone. They would move with a victory to within a point of Nottingham Forest. Long way to go, as Clinton Morrison says, but that just gives you an idea of the stakes, the high stakes in this game here on 5 Live. High stakes are plenty this afternoon. Liverpool against Manchester United. Commentary coming up at 4:30. Do stay with us for that, and you can have your say on 6:06 tonight. That follows the conclusion of the game at Anfield. Here at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest 0, Everton 1. As Everton clear the ball out of play through Dwight McNeil, and the throw goes to Nottingham Forest and Serge Aurier under pressure. Nice touch forward to Shelvey, who can't find Freuler. Interception by Doucouré, goes straight out of play. And you do think, Clinton, I mean, as we say, long way to go, but an early goal for Everton could be so crucial, and they've got it as Brennan Johnson pulls the ball to the edge of the area. It's picked up by Colback, and now Freuler forced back midway through the Everton half as Gibbs-White plays it out to the left-hand side, and Nottingham Forest do well to keep possession. Send it back to the halfway line, and Felipe forward to John Joe Shelvey now. Everton leading by a goal to nil. 15 minutes gone here on 5 Live, as the ripple of disappointment is because Nottingham Forest have gone backwards to Worrell. Forwards now they go, as Worrell is brought down by Demarai Gray, and Nottingham Forest have a free kick. But just going back to that point, I mean, early goals obviously are hugely beneficial for any side, but particularly in this game, particularly with Forest's home form, the fact that Everton were on top and found the breakthrough, it just does feel like one of these scenarios, given the context of everything, that could be so defining in this match.
It can, taking the lead and getting that early goal. They've got something to hold on to now, Vicky, Everton have. And it was a big goal for them. But you can see now the Forest fans are starting to get involved.
Shelvey's free kick into the area. Good strong punch by Pickford. Volley back in from the edge of the box by Morgan Gibbs-White. And it bounces wide, and there's a little inquest going on in the Everton defence. Doucouré deep in discussion with Seamus Coleman, but it's that sort of experience from Coleman that Sean Dyche, I mean, when he comes into a club, I'm sure he'll look for those leaders, and Coleman absolutely is one of those. Yeah,
they got a lot of leaders, to be fair. Connor Cody, who's been outstanding when he was at Wolves and coming to Everton. You got likes of Tarkowski, Seamus Coleman, so there is leaders in this team.
So Pickford clears downfield for Everton, who lead by a goal to nil. Serge Aurier with the interception for Nottingham Forest. John Joe Shelvey picks it up. Good challenge by Gay, but Shelvey does well. Brilliant. Good strength and good ball out to the left-hand side. And Renan Lodi bursting forward through the Everton half. Lodi still going. Plays it to the left-hand side of the area, and Morgan Gibbs-White, well pressured by Coleman. So Gibbs-White is forced back to Jack Colback, who just keeps it in on the left-hand side, but is almost dispossessed by Alex Iwobi. He's done well there, Colback, because Everton were away there down the right if he didn't hold on to that. He has, and now brings it forward to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ball in from Lodi. Shelvey's up there, headed away by Everton, and Demarai Gray, their goal scorer, will clear it up towards halfway, and you can see Sean Dyche waving his right arm like a windmill, saying, get up, don't sit deep.
Yeah, you don't want them to sit deep and have what you've got to go and try and get that second goal, because Forest have started playing now. They haven't started the first 10 minutes, nowhere near it, but now they're starting to dominate possession.
And they are in possession with Felipe just inside their own half. Squares it to Joe Worrell and forward to Freuler. And now Shelvey, he's just starting to get into the game a little bit more, John Joe Shelvey, making things tick in that midfield for Nottingham Forest. Good strength by Chris Wood to win the ball away from Tarkowski. Challenged well by Dwight McNeil, but Brennan Johnson is there. Sliding challenge from Tarkowski. Ball out of play for a Forest throw. It's more like it from Forest.
It is, and he's the one player I think gets them back in it, Shelvey. His range of pass is brilliant. Listen, he'll want to make amends for giving away that penalty, but I thought when they signed him, it'd be a good signing for them because he's brave. He always wants the ball.
Yeah, arrived from Newcastle in January, said he needed a fresh start, and is impressed on his appearances so far for Nottingham Forest, who win the header with Joe Worrell. Cleared away by Ben Godfrey, out of play, bounces right in front of Sean Dyche, former Nottingham Forest youngster himself. Dyche, when Brian Clough was manager, never made his senior debut, but there's a real Forest flavour to the Everton coaching staff as Forest come forward, laid off by Chris Wood. Great save by Pickford, but followed up for Nottingham Forest to find the equaliser. Great run in from the right-hand side from Brennan Johnson, and he's there once again, their top scorer, to steer home past Pickford, and Nottingham Forest are back on level terms. It's 1-1 at the City Ground.
And Michael Keane has to go. I said it, big trouble there, Vicky, before the goal. Gibbs-White goes into a pocket. Michael Keane has to go because Tarkowski's got Wood. But you know what? It's a great goal, to be fair, because Gibbs-White does ever so well, plays a good 1-2. Great layup from Chris Wood. Really good layup. Way to pass. and it's a good save from Pickford, and then you want your defenders to help you. Who does it fall to? Nottingham Forest's top goal scorer, Brennan Johnson, and he's not going to miss from there. Game on, Vicky. Who said we're not getting no goals?
Absolutely. We told you we had faith here on 5 Live, and it's the two players, incidentally, that scored in the 1-1 draw back in August between these two sides, Demarai Gray and Brennan Johnson. On the score sheet so far, 19 minutes played, 1-1. Brilliant clash here at the City Ground, and Forest with their tails up. Here comes Loddy down the left-hand side, swings the ball in. Chris Wood's in there. Header is deflected over by Tarkowski. It's a corner to Nottingham Forest, and suddenly the momentum has completely changed.
Yeah, it's a good ball in from Loddy, and yeah, you're right. The fans are getting behind her. Great run from Chris Wood, but good defending from Tarkowski.
So corner to Nottingham Forest as the City Ground finds its voice once more. Morgan Gibbs-White, who drew that great save from Pickford's in the build-up to Brennan Johnson's equaliser, comes over to this near side the right to take the corner for Nottingham Forest. The red shirts are packed around the penalty spot as Gibbs-White prepares to swing this in. Both arms in the air, 1-1 here on 5 Live. Gibbs-White just checks that run-up. The shirts of Nottingham Forest rearrange themselves in the area. Let's keep an eye then on John Joe Shelby, says Clinton Morrison, as Gibbs-White swings it up where it doesn't go to anybody apart from Ben Godfrey, who heads it behind.
Do you know why?
Because corner.
I know Andy Reid, he's jumping around and he's making the signal, but Brennan Johnson went too early, and what they want to do is Gibbs-White wants to play it to Brennan Johnson like he's having a shot. He goes for his legs. Shelby's on the edge of the box. Can't leave someone like Shelby with that much time and space.
Right, I think you're right, Clinton, because Brennan Johnson has just come to John Joe Shelby there. So let's see what they're going to do. If that was the plan for the first one, it wasn't executed. Now Brennan Johnson has gone short as an option for Gibbs-White from this corner. So Shelby's still just outside the penalty area. 4 Forest players in the box, including the height of Chris Wood. They play the corner short. Here is Brennan Johnson. Now pulls it back to Shelby, who dinks it in outside of the boot, and it's claimed by Pickford. And I tell you what, Chris Wood was almost there as well, right next to Pickford, but the Everton number 1 takes. Yeah,
it was a well-worked corner. I think they wanted to work it on the other side so Shelby could get his shot, but because obviously it's coming onto his left foot there, but he puts a good ball in with the outside of his right foot. But you're right, it was a really good take from Pickford under pressure.
So 1-1 midway through the first half here on 5 Live as the ball is cleared over the top. Keylor Navas comes out of his area and clears the ball long over the halfway line. Header is won by Gibbs-White, but Michael Keane will take charge for Everton, and here is Demarai Gray out to the right hand side. Gray goes down there. Oh, he looks in real discomfort here. Everton is still playing on. Gray stayed down. Iwobi has it, plays it forward looking for the run of Idrissa Gueye, cleared away by Jack Colback, and now the referee stops play. And Demarai Gray is still down here. Well, it was Everton that made the decision not to put it out for their own teammate, and referee John Brooks has gone straight over to Demarai Gray.
Yeah, I think he might get trod on his ankle by Colback. I think it might be accidental. I have to see the replay because we're a long way away, Vicky. But the way he was batting the floor, you thought maybe it was something serious, but he's now back up on his feet. The physio hasn't come on. Hopefully he's all right because he started the game well for them.
Yeah, real boos around the City Ground because, as Clinton says, he went down and he was beating the ground immediately. His hand was in the air. But I guess you can tell quite a lot from the reaction of other players, because initially you think that's surprising that Everton haven't put that out, but he is up to his feet.
Watching
He's
it,
fine.
You know what it is?
Here come Everton into the penalty area, down to the byline. Oh, they're asking for another penalty there. They're screaming for it. Seamus Coleman is running straight to referee John Brooks. Nottingham Forest is surrounding the referee as well. Well, the ball's gone out of play. It's a Nottingham Forest goal kick as things stand. But again, we talk about reaction of players. Coleman is absolutely furious there.
Yeah, he is furious. And to be fair, he gets to the byline, and I think it's Felipe. I don't know if he wants it. You know what he wants? He wants a penalty. He thinks Colback's clipped it just before he's going to have the shot.
Well, we move on. VAR very quickly had a look at that, and Nottingham Forest coming down the right-hand side. Brennan Johnson, lovely check back inside the area, drives the shot in, blocked away, comes back to Johnson. Shelby will curl it in, headed away by Tarkowski. Shelby picks it up once more. 1-1 midway through the second half. What a game this is as Aurier delivers the ball in. Great delivery, headed away inside the 6-yard box, cleared away by Ben Godfrey. For the City Ground, like what they're seeing, Clinton Morrison.
And so do we, Vicky. It's a good game. It's end-to-end. It's a brilliant brilliant game, and Forest are starting to dominate now. But yeah, it was a good chance there earlier. I don't think it was a penalty. Right decision from VAR and the referee there, but they are pushing at the moment.
Aurier plays it forward, intercepted by Dwight McNeil, who skips away from the challenge of Brennan Johnson, who's found the equaliser for Nottingham Forest. 1-1 here on 5 Live as Ben Godfrey plays it forward straight into Brennan Johnson. Gray gets a foot in. Johnson plays the ball forward, spins out of play. Did it get a nick on the way through? No, it didn't. It'll be a throw to Everton deep in their own territory. 1-1, Clinton Morrison.
Good game as well, really end-to-end. And Everton, yeah, since they've conceded, they've gone back on the front foot, but they look a threat, as I could say. Watching the replay again, I think Coleman's just about to... Ooh, there was a bit of contact on the back of him, but...
Do you know what it is? I think Coleman initially connects with Colback's foot, and then Colback connects with Coleman's other foot. Yeah. So he feels the contact, but I think...
And because he
almost kicks Colback, but he thinks it's Colback's foot that's come into him, which it does at the second time. You can understand why he's gone down appealing for it.
Definitely.
It's one of these that, you know, if it's not given, I don't think it's something that VAR overturns. You'd have to look at it really slowly on several replays to say, well, whose foot moves into whose? They're both running together. But it looks, from that initial replay, as though it was Coleman more towards the foot of Colback, and then Colback does touch him at the second attempt.
I don't need to talk now because Vicky summed that up brilliantly. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Nottingham Forest are moving on. They have the ball on the halfway line. 25 minutes played on 5 Live. 1-1. Brilliant game at the foot of the table. These two sides separated by just 4 points. Here is Felipe. Back to Joe Worrell. Liverpool against Manchester United to come at Anfield. Full commentary with John Murray and Dion Dublin. And you can have your say on 6:06 on all the weekend's football action. That starts at 6:30, just after the conclusion of the game at Anfield. Out to the right-hand side go Everton with Dwight McNeil, dispossessed by Serge Aurier. Loose touch, though, who then loses it, Serge Aurier, and clips Idrissa Gueye, trying to win the ball back. Free kick to Everton inside the centre circle. But no two ways about it, Clinton. Nottingham Forest have been the better side since that equaliser.
Oh, definitely. You know what Everton did? They just sat back when they scored the goal. And you saw Sean Dyche trying to say to his team, get forward, but they didn't get forward. They sat back, and evidently Forest were going to have a spell. And when they had a spell, they scored goals. That's what you have to do when you're on top in a football match. You score goals. And as I say, the place was quiet, and it's unusual. As soon as they scored that goal, the fans started roaring.
So free kick to Everton in the centre circle. Sean Dyche watching on. As we mentioned, there is that real Nottingham Forest flavour to the Everton coaching staff at the moment. Ian Wone and Steve Stone, also former Forest players. Both of those made over 200 appearances for Nottingham Forest, and both, incidentally, were in the side for Forest's last home win against Everton, which came in September 1995. As Everton play the ball into the area, it's a poor delivery, and it goes all the way behind. Ian Wone scored what proved to be the decisive third goal in that match.
He's a bit of a legend, isn't he, Wone? Left foot. This is where you remember him playing for so many, and Steve Stone as well, both of them. You're right.
Yeah.
Good knowledge, mate.
But it's one of these as well. You think, 95, that's a long time. But this is their first home game against Everton in 23 years.
Yeah,
so
it's a long time, yeah.
Haven't really had the opportunity.
Exactly.
But it's 1-1 here on 5 Live. Nottingham Forest in possession. But it's been a great game, Clinton, and I think we've seen both sides in stages playing with some real freedom.
Yeah, you have. And you look at both teams and you would think, are they down there? Not really, because the way they played with confidence, and this can go either way. This definitely can.
Yeah, finely poised. Forest at the moment with the momentum, but Everton certainly had that in the opening 10 minutes. Forest furious, they want a free kick in the centre circle. It's gone the way of Everton, and now the City ground is on its feet, roaring its displeasure because Morgan Gibbs-White is saying he was pulled back earlier in the move. Referee John Brooks unmoved.
No, and he's going to just diffuse it and going to probably speak to Brennan Johnson because he's run 20 yards to argue about that decision, and the referees don't like that. But I did think it was a foul. I think Onana did catch Gibbs-White. Good bit of skill, but it definitely was a tug on the shirt. Yeah,
we're just seeing the replay here. It was nice skill by Gibbs-White, and he was pulled back. He then dived in on Dwight McNeil. The penalised challenge was by Colback, but had to be a little bit careful, Gibbs-White, there, because he was clearly annoyed he'd been pulled back. Really, Everton could have had a free kick for the swipe on.
Yeah, you're right.
Dwight McNeil initially.
I think they could have definitely had that, and he could have been booked as well. It was his reaction after.
So, free kick to Everton, which is not really being taken anywhere near where that incident happened from. Jordan Pickford's taken it back into the Everton half and sends it long up towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed on, Michael Keane heads it on to Corey! 2-1 Everton leads! And again, Nottingham Forest just can't sort themselves out in their own penalty area, and Abdoulaye Doucouré is there to head Everton back in front. His first goal since September 2021, and what a precious one it could be. It's Forest 1, Everton 2.
Yeah, if you can't defend set pieces, then you're going to struggle, and that's what Forest have struggled to do in this game so far. Pickford plays the ball in. I'm watching the replay. It's not offside. Tarkowski wins that first header. It's a brilliant header from Tarkowski, and then Keane does well. The centre halves combined. Great third man run from Doucouré and a good finish. Really good header from Doucouré, but the two centre halves combined, and Naves can't come out and get that ball because he comes off his line a bit too slow. But good header from Doucouré. Really brave. Game on, Vic.
And you said it there, it's the run, isn't it? Remo Freuler completely loses him, but the intelligence of Doucouré to just see that space opening up inside the 6-yard box, goes central, nods it past Navas, and this game, which has been thrilling so far, takes another twist. Half an hour gone, yep. Everton restore their lead.
Yeah, you're right, it does, and it's a good run from Doucouré. If you're going to play in there and you're going to be the closest to Damari Gray, that's where you got to score your goals, and it was a good run, and you're right. Run off Freuler, he'll be disappointed with that.
Who was questioning that this might be a boring game? Who was questioning that there might be no goals in this? Was it Nedum Manua?
Yeah, we know. He's listening.
So glad that we can bring you the goals here on 5 Live this afternoon. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. It's been a cracker so far. It's Doucouré loses possession over on the far side. Throw goes Nottingham Forest way. Just laughing there. Sean Dyche did a little hop, skip and a jump of frustration there, but overall it's been a good performance from Everton, but there's been a real ebb and flow. They were the better side, they scored. Forest then equalised, then were the better side themselves, and now how will Everton respond in terms of performance to retaking the lead? They have the throw midway through their own half.
Yeah, I don't think Sean Dyche will want them to sit back. Go and get a third, they would say, because Forest will have another spell where they'll cause problems. They'll get their players like Gibbs White, Brennan Johnson back on the ball. So they will have a spell. There's more goals in this. The scoring's not over.
Gibbs White loses out to a combination of Iwobi and Doucouré. Iwobi plays the ball down the right-hand side, gets a little deflection, and out of play for an Everton throw as Steve Cooper paces his technical area. Both sides heavily beaten in their last Premier League outings, 4-0 by West Ham and Arsenal respectively, but although picking up points against teams, particularly for Everton, when you think about Arsenal, you know, it's a free hit for them. We've seen the likes of Southampton do it against Chelsea. We know that they can be key, but it's these sort of games, and that's why against Nottingham, for Nottingham Forest in their last match against West Ham, that was such a huge disappointment, losing to relegation rivals, and they're trailing by 2-1 at home here at the City Ground, where they've not lost since mid-September. Tarkowski sends it forward for Everton to the scorer of their second goal, Abdoulaye Doucouré, loses out to Renan Lodi, who squares it to Serge Aurier. He's closed down quickly by Dwight McNeil. Interception by Onana, and too slow, Clinton Morrison, you say, alongside
Yeah,
me.
because Aurier should have played that quicker to Shelby. He gave time for Onana to come back, and that's where you got to give these players time and space, because Everton's midfield will hunt in packs to try and close you down.
Iwobi picks it up on the right-hand side for Everton, who lead 2-1 here on 5 Live. 13 minutes plus added time to play in the first half. Nice ball forwards, well, initially from Brennan Johnson, but Shelby hadn't quite made the run, and Tarkowski can send it all the way back to Pickford, who is closed down by John Joe Shelby. Pickford's clearance headed on by Godfrey over the halfway line. Good thumping header by Felipe to send it forward, and cleared away by Michael Keane. Out of play for a Forest throw. If we analyse the partnership between Tarkowski and Michael Keane, obviously something that Sean Dyche used so many times at Burnley, and that's why Keane has kept his place ahead of Conor Covey. But as Forest have it just inside their own half, how would you assess their performance so far?
Yeah, they've done all right. I think Keane, for the first goal, has to go and engage Gibbs White. I think he gives him too much time and space. You can't give good players like that. But they've done all right so far. And you know what? They've made amends because they combined for the equaliser. It was a good header from Tarkowski, and then a good header from Michael Keane back into Doucouré's path.
John Joe Shelvey in possession for Nottingham Forest, sends it out to the left-hand side, looking for the run of Loddy, but doesn't have the distance on it. And Gay has it for Everton. Back to Seamus Coleman under real pressure from Colback, so sends it back to Gay. They played around that pressure well there, Everton, though Sean Dyche doesn't look too happy on the touchline, but they send it forwards. Tamari Gray tumbles, and it's all the way through with Keylor Navas. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it was good play from Everton. They're growing into the game because they're confident now. After getting that second goal, they are confident at the moment, and they're playing good, and Forest just have to raise their game again.
John Joe Shelvey in possession, sends it back to Joe Worrell, who just waits for the options to present themselves. Here is one of them, Jack Colback, just inside the Nottingham Forest half. But Everton in possession, well organised, as Nottingham Forest play it all the way back to Joe Worrell. And they're just pinning Forest in their own half at the moment, Everton.
Yeah, they've got a good shape. They're finding it hard. Forest are not moving the ball quick enough. You can hear the fans getting frustrated.
Good lead by Aurier to allow the ball to run through to Brennan Johnson. It's gone out of play for a throw. Johnson is down. Godfrey is protesting his innocence. Now, what will the officials decide here? Is it going to be a free kick or is it going to be a throw
I think
to Forest?
He's left it as a throw on, to be fair. Obviously, watching a replay, he gets the ball, Godfrey. Gets the ball. He gets a bit of Brennan Johnson, but he does get the ball.
So 10 minutes to play, Nottingham Forest in possession, trailing by 2-1 against Everton here at the City Ground on 5 Live. Felipe sends the ball forward, gives White under pressure, back to Felipe, and Felipe plays it ahead of Loddy. That connection between Felipe and Loddy, it's just not working at the moment for Forest.
No, it's not. And Felipe, he looks nervous in possession. He's usually a good footballer with all the experience that he's got, but he looks really nervous so far.
Well, it's only his 3rd Premier League start of the season. Came on and made his debut against Fulham and was good in that match. Enforced substitution by injuries, but as Clinton says, it's just looking a little nervy at the back for Forest as Everton come down the right-hand side once more with Dwight McNeil. Plays it in field, lovely ball to Iwobi, plays the ball across, Felipe gets the block in, Loddy gets the header, comes back to McNeil once more, right-hand side of the area, plays the ball in, Decore still up there, Worrell takes charge, heads away looking for Chris Wood. Michael Keane is there, tussling with Wood, he's got Wood's arm there, no advantage play, but Forest still have possession. Aurier over the halfway line, looking for the run of Brennan Johnson, cleared away by Godfrey. Something that's just occurred to me, Clinton, I think that's the first time I've said Chris Wood's name in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's gone quiet, but they need to get the ball into Chris Wood, and that is good. Be that target man, be that pivotal man up front, and he held it up well, and that's what they need at this time.
Forest in possession, trailing by 2-1 here on 5 Live. Gibbs White plays it behind Shelvey, who collects, but again, Everton are just happy to sit relatively deep. They're not dropping too deep inside their own half, but they're happy to have the blue shirts just about on the halfway line. But now every time Forest go back, they just move that press up, Everton, and Forest now will try and play their way in behind it. Godfrey wins the header, too much on it for McNeil. It's out of play for a throw. Steve Cooper throws it to John Joe Shelvey, who takes it for Forest. Clinton Morrison.
They see Everton sinking back slowly but surely again, but you just got to go and keep pressing. They do have a good shape though. They're going to find it difficult to break them down because their shape is good, and that's why you just got to keep moving the ball from side to side and the space will appear.
Shelvey trying to find that space over the top. Ball is through to Pickford, but a hand of acknowledgement from Brennan Johnson. It's one of these with Shelvey. You can understand why he keeps trying to play those, because he has the capability to get them spot on, and if he did, Johnson was in there. Yeah,
I think for me, out of all the midfielders, he's probably the one out of both teams that can pick that pass, that no-look pass, and that's what he did, but he just over here. It was a good starting position from Pickford.
Pickford in possession, clears away under pressure from Wood over the halfway line. Towering header by Felipe. He's done that well this afternoon, Felipe, stepping up at the right time on the halfway line and winning the header, but it's coming straight back at Nottingham Forest. Iwobi almost dispossessed by Colback, but lays it off to Decore, has McNeil through the centre, out to the right hand side he goes instead, and Tamari Gray, who got things underway with that early penalty, pulls it back to McNeil, ball into the area, cleared away by Joe Worrell, and Nana was up there for Everton. Nottingham Forest dispossessed though. Chris Wood going down midway inside his own half, and Alex Iwobi picks it up left hand side, now out to Decore. Everton leading 2-1, 7 minutes plus added time to play in the first half. Out to the right hand side they go once more. Everton. Seamus Coleman collects the ball from Damari Gray, tries a little back heel inside the area. Shout of handball from the Everton fans who were right up the other end of the City ground. No Everton players appealed. Tarkowski sends it all the way back to Pickford, and the Nottingham Forest fans are shouting handball at every single touch.
Yeah, they are. Oh, it's a good ball that from Pickford, but yeah, good defending there from Loddy. Well, that happens when you don't get a penalty. There's handball. It's good.
So Everton in possession. Forest are just losing their way a little bit here, and Everton can sense that something is building. Can they extend their advantage? Here is Decore. He's put them 2-1 ahead here on 5 Live. Out to the right hand side, and Dwight McNeil, and now Alex Iwobi in field to Decore once more, and now McNeil. Will he play the ball into the area? He might go for goal here. Does go for goal. It was a decent effort. Tipped over by Navas. Everton corner. Forest need to wake up here.
They do. Forest need half time, because at the moment it's not been good enough apart from that 10-15 minute spell they had. They let Dwight McNeil, he wants to come on his left foot. You've let him come across the box, not one person's gone and engaged him. And it was a comfortable save from Navas. One he expects to save, but they've got to be doing better, Forest.
Well, both Everton goals so far have come from Forest not being able to defend the ball, a bobbling ball inside their own penalty area. They gave away a penalty and they let Decore steal through to score that header. So these are good opportunities here for Everton. They play the corner short out on the right hand side as the ball is now lifted in, cleared away by Felipe. Alex Iwobi chests it down, lays it off to Decore, tried the curler, blocked on the edge of the box, header inadvertently back into the area, cleared away by Remo Freuler. Real bobbling ball once again and again. Forest really struggling to deal with it. Eventually they get significant contact with Colback outside the penalty area, and Lottie has it, and now Freuler on the left hand side as Iwobi closes down. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2.
They don't have enough runners going forward. That's the problem. When they look, there's only one, and it's always Brennan Johnson.
And here he goes up against Godfrey, who wins the header. Does come to Chris Wood, who heads it back forward to Johnson inside the penalty area. Godfrey got a vital foot in. But that's the first time really that we've seen the clearance from Everton, and Wood was there to win the second ball.
Yep.
Nottingham Forest take the throw quickly. They get another one, Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, you're right. They do. That is the first time. And you just want the players to be closer together. They have to be closer together. Freuler's got to do more for me. He's not been at the races so far in this first half. They've got injuries to midfielders, and he hasn't been nowhere near good enough. He's a Swiss international. He's a player who I rate, but he's not tracked his runners, and he's got to be better in possession.
Yeah, they do have Ryan Yates back on the bench.
Yeah,
after
that's
illness.
a huge one, Vicky. Yeah, they have missed Ryan Yates in that midfield.
Renan Loddy has it for Forest, plays the ball into the area, looking for Johnson. There's too much on it. Johnson did brilliantly to keep that in there. That is outstanding. And then he's upended by Godfrey.
He should get booked for that.
Yeah, let's see what happens here, because Aurier still has had the ball. He's absolutely furious, Aurier, that the whistle's gone. Godfrey's been booked. It's a free kick to Nottingham Forest. It is a good position. 6 to 1 half a dozen there in terms of what they would have rathered. We knew Aurier would have rather been able to swing the ball in, because Forest was still on the attack. Yeah. But it's one of those, he could have let it go, played the advantage, and then gone back and booked Godfrey.
Yeah, he could have, to be fair. I don't know, because they were in a better position. You are right, and you're spot on, Vicky. Surely, it's just so sometimes with referees, they react because of the crowd they're reacting. You can go back to that situation and then give Godfrey a book. But Forest had the advantage, and now Everton are set back and back in their shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're in on goal, and, it wasn't that one.
But it's a better crossing position.
Yeah,
you're spot on.
Yeah. So Johnson is down off the pitch, still receiving treatment. Morgan Gibbs-White is standing over this. I think Brennan Johnson's going to need to move that right boot, because otherwise he's going to impede Morgan Gibbs-White's run-up. And unsurprisingly, Gibbs-White is just waiting for Brennan Johnson to get back up to his feet, which he does now, to applause from the home fans. So 2.5 minutes was added time to play in the first half. Forest looking for the second time in this match to get back on level terms. Gibbs-White over this, the heights up from the back. Chris Wood's in there as well. Joe Worrell leaps, it's cleared away by Keane. Freuler will head it back into the area. Felipe and Worrell both left it because they both thought they were offside, and Pickford comes out and claims. Yeah,
you're just looking with the set pieces, to be fair. Everton are a big, strong side, and they can cause problems at the other end, and they also can defend in their numbers. So it has to be a ball that's on the money.
And not quite for Nottingham Forest in terms of those set-piece deliveries so far, as Jordan Pickford launches the ball over the halfway line. And Nana was having his shirt pulled there by Aurier, as Worrell clears the ball away for Nottingham Forest. Cushioned header back by Idrissa Gueye and steered all the way back now to Jordan Pickford, who's closed down by Chris Wood. Pickford's decided to go out to the left-hand side and clears the ball straight out of play. Is that another example of Jordan Pickford just getting involved in a different way to temperament? But he doesn't need to do that there,
exactly, Vicky. Why is he taking another touch? Just clear the ball. You even saw Sean Dyche. He was frustrated and looked to the heavens. I don't know why he did that.
90 seconds plus added time to play in the first half. Forest 1, Everton 2 here on 5 Live. Commentary from Anfield coming up at 4:30. Liverpool against Manchester United, and catch Match of the Day 2 on BBC One this evening from 10:30 with Mark Chapman. Out to the left-hand side go Nottingham Forest. Now Renan Lodi's gone down. Fouled by Alex Iwobi. High boot. Again, Gibbs White had the ball. So there's no booking for Iwobi. This is a good free kick position, though, for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I think it's a better position for Gibbs White to whip it into Jordan Pickford's goal. The last one was away from the goal. This into Pickford, into the bodies.
So Gibbs White is standing over this. Lodi's there as well. It's a 2-player Everton wall right on the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Brennan Johnson is standing at the moment in an offside position. Aurier's there, Felipe as well. Chris Wood, the height's there, but Everton have the height as well. Back defending. Forest 1, Everton 2 into the final minute at the ends of this first half. Gibbs White with both arms in the air. Little run up, swings it in right-footed. Tarkowski up for the header with Woods. Onana gets the distance on it and clears the ball away as Idrissa Gueye looks to counter for Everton. He's done well there to squeeze it out to Onana. Stayed down, Gueye, but Everton is striding forward with Onana to Doucouré. Left-hand side, McNeil's in the centre. Iwobi's arriving. Doucouré pulls the ball across. It's behind everybody but Gray, whose effort is blocked by Gibbs White on the edge of the 6-yard box. And now Gibbs White will stream forward for Nottingham Forest, but Chris Wood can't control, and Everton come forward once more. Doucouré plays it forward, too much on that for Dwight McNeil. Joe Worrell plays it off McNeil, a little risky there. No risk taken by Freuler, who clears the ball out for a throw. What a chance for Demarai Gray to make it Everton 3, Forest 1.
It would have been a big cushion going into half-time. We're into added on time, 2 minutes, but great opportunity. Doucouré does ever so well. Goes past Freuler like he's not there. He's the holding midfielder. It's too easy to go past him. He doesn't defend. He's putting his hands behind his back. Defend properly. But it's a good ball from Doucouré. Demarai Gray doesn't hit it with any conviction. If he does, he maybe scores, but good defending from Morgan Gibbs White. Credit him.
Ball into the area by Ben Godfrey over the head of Alex Iwobi. Still got players forward here. The blue shirts of Everton into 2 minutes of added time as Iwobi on the edge of the area. It's just too easy at the moment for Everton as Shelby steps up well. Nice footwork to take it out of the box and send it out to the left-hand side, and Gibbs White. Wood is through the centre. Johnson's making the run. Tarkowski watches it all the way. Godfrey wins the header. That's it. They're looking for Johnson every single time. And it's just meat and drink to the centre halves of Everton. And Ben Godfrey, he's had a good game.
Yeah, definitely. Apart from getting booked, and obviously you have to watch yourself. But you're right. If you're only looking for one person, they can defend that. Tarkowski and Godfrey can double up because then Keane can go and mark Chris Wood.
Ball over the top, looking for Demarai Gray. Good header by Felipe, back into his own area and collected by Keylor Navas. But it's just too predictable at the moment from Nottingham Forest in an attacking sense and a defensive sense as well. Every time Everton managed to get the ball into the penalty area, they just look nervy. And as Aurier has it on the halfway line, I think you're right about Freuler as well. He's not having a good game so far.
No, and he's hiding. He needs to come and get on the ball. We all have bad games, but we've got to come and get on the ball with it.
Tarkowski heads the ball out of play, and a low fight between himself and Ben Godfrey, because that is the whistle for half-time. A smattering of applause around the City ground. But that's generous from the Nottingham Forest fans because they've been second best. There was an ebb and flow in the game. Everton starting brightly. Demarai Gray's penalty putting them ahead early doors. Equaliser from Brennan Johnson after a good spell from Nottingham Forest. But again, poor defending, allowing Everton to retake the lead through Doucouré's header. Clinton Morrison, Sean Dyche will be delighted with the majority of that first half.
Oh, definitely. They scored 2 goals. That would be his biggest delight. Everton finally scored a goal. But yeah, they've been good in possession. They've defended when they've had to at times, apart from the Forest equaliser, and then they go and score the second goal, which is a really well-worked goal. And yeah, it's been a good half of football though, but it's not over because Steve Cooper will be gearing up that team in the second half, and Everton will have a lot of defending to do.
It's the first time that Everton have scored multiple goals in the Premier League in 14 matches. what precious goals they could prove to be. Still a half to play though, and we've seen enough so far at the City Ground to think, to believe, to have faith that there are more goals in this one. Half time, Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2.
Yeah, and here's excuse me, here's the thing, Clinton. We've just seen laid bare why both of these teams have got problems, but at the same time, they're both gunning to win it. They're throwing themselves into everything. They're both trying to get 3 points. As a neutral, you can't really ask for more from a clash between two relegation-threatened teams.
No, because they know how big it is. There's going to be mistakes, and when you're down the bottom, it is hard. You don't want to be the person to make mistakes. But no, it's been a good game, Crossy. Did we think it was going to be this good? No, probably, because two teams that were struggling to score goals, and one in particular, Everton, not the greatest on the road, but credit to them. They've been outstanding in this first half, and I think there's more goals in the second half to come, though.
Clinton, Vicky, thank you very much for the time being. Vicky Sparks, Clinton Morrison at the City Ground, where Everton lead by 2-1 at half-time. We've got lots of great live sports starting in 10 minutes' time. We've got Premiership Rugby. We've got the Women's League Cup final. We'll take our first trip to Anfield shortly as well, ahead of Liverpool versus Manchester United, that we're bringing you in full at 4:30. And we'll be on the grid at the opening race of the F1 season in Bahrain after the news with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Rishi Sunak says he's determined to make sure that people who arrive in the UK illegally will not be allowed to stay. In the coming days, the government is expected to announce a new law preventing anyone who's reached the UK in a small boat from claiming asylum. Charities describe the proposal as extremely concerning. The father of Safi Roussos, the youngest victim of the Manchester Arena bombing, says he intends to sue MI5. The public inquiry into the terror attack has found it might have been prevented if the security service had acted on its intelligence received in the months before. Scientists and environmentalists have welcomed a landmark global agreement aimed at safeguarding the oceans. If implemented, the treaty will create protected areas covering 30% of the high seas or international waters by the end of the decade. And clashes have broken out during demonstrations in Greece over Tuesday's rail disaster that killed at least 57 people. Striking rail workers joined thousands of protesters near the Parliament building in Athens. There's anger over the privatisation of the railway system and subsequent cost cutting.
Whatever you're looking for, we've got sounds for that.
Fancy livening up the commute? Join us for 5 Live Drive.
Of course, you don't have to be driving. You could be on a bus, on a train, even a horse.
Good point, Tony.
Or you could just dance your cares away with my mix of non-stop feel-good tunes. Sophia Spexter's Kitchen Disco.
Or, if you want to change your pace, try out 6 Degrees from Jamie and Spencer.
Jamie can even be quite funny occasionally.
Bit rude.
Music, radio, podcasts. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
The brand new Formula One season is 8 minutes from getting underway. We've got commentary of the Bahrain Grand Prix on 5 Sports Extra. You can join the team right now. Let's head down to the grid and join Rosanna Tennant.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, and it's getting busy down here. Lots of people here for the first round of the 2023 Formula One season. As I look to my right, the grandstand is packed out. There are flags flying, Mexican flags, British flags. There's a whole host of support here for Formula One in general. And our pole sitter, Max Verstappen, got himself onto the grid nice and early to get himself in the zone ahead of the first race. Can he win it, though? I'm going to bring in Jack Nicholls, and former Mercedes F1 reserve driver and current Formula E driver for Jaguar, Sam Bird. Guys, Max Verstappen's put himself in the best possible position, but can he take it all the way to the checkered flag this evening?
I think he's got a pretty good chance, to be honest. Starting from pole position is always going to give you the best option of winning the Grand Prix, which is a fairly obvious thing for me to say, admittedly. But the gaps are all a bit closer than we thought they were going to be. I think that's the key thing, isn't it, Sam? There were some people saying Red Bull might be a second up the road of everyone else, but it hasn't been that dominant a performance so far, at least.
So much closer than what everybody predicted, Jack. I think that the order is roughly what we expected, with Red Bull leading a 1-2 ahead of the Ferraris. The surprise for us, I suppose, is Fernando Alonso up in 5th, looking incredibly strong and with good tyre deg.
So Verstappen starts on pole, Perez alongside him in the Red Bull, then it is the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, then it's Fernando Alonso in 5th, the Mercedes of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton 6th and 7th on the grid. And again, Mercedes sort of knew this would be the case coming into this season. I think they know that they haven't built a good car again this year for the second year in a row.
I was just speaking to Peter Bonington, Lewis Hamilton's race engineer, for so many years now, won so many world championships together, and they are a little bit bullish. They think that they can go forwards. They think that they've got a little bit of pace there, and they think that they can be fighting with the Ferraris come the end of this race.
So is that the Mercedes can go forwards or the Ferraris can go backwards? Because that's going to be the big determining factor, isn't it, on whether Ferrari can fight with Red Bull up at the front, or whether they're going to be looking in their mirrors.
There's only Alonso between those two manufacturers, so I'm presuming that it's a little bit of both.
Max Verstappen is, of course, the reigning world champion. He's won the last two world championships back-to-back. Sergio Perez in second place. Are we looking at Perez to be in contention for the race win? Well, I tell you what, let's see what the team principal Christian Horner has to say. Rosanna.
Christian, Max wasn't wholly comfortable with the car yesterday and still managed to take pole position. Do you think confidence and comfortability is high this afternoon?
Well, look, I think it's the first race of the year. You never really know what to expect, so the first thing is we need a good start with both drivers, and then settle into the race from there. So I'm sure Ferrari are going to be pushing hard at the beginning, and Mercedes, we don't know their pace, and of course Fernando Alonso.
Absolutely. And does the threat, as he's embracing Jeremy Clarkson, does the threat of Ferrari with that new soft tyre worry you at all? Is that going to affect your race strategy today?
It's look, there will be an advantage off the start line with it, but let's see, it's not just about the start, it's about the degradation with these tyres are particularly sensitive, so let's see.
Good luck, have a great race. Well, Jack and Sam's, Christian Horner talking about the threat potentially from Aston Martin, Mercedes and Ferrari. Which one of those do you think is the real credible threat this evening?
It's so difficult to tell, isn't it? Because we're going into the unknown again. Brand new cars that have been built for this season. That's why suddenly Aston Martin are up there and Mercedes have dropped back a little bit. And I think the wisdom from testing, to me, Sam, Christian Horner sounded confident there. He was, okay, the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc has a brand new set of soft tyres, but he was like, yeah, that'll help you for 400 metres down to turn 1, but this is a 300-kilometre race.
I completely agree with everything that Christian said. Rosanna asked a question, what are we thinking? I mean, my head is saying Ferrari are going to take the fight. My heart is saying Fernando Alonso, because it would be romantic. And I genuinely don't know about Russell and Hamilton. I just don't know, because I can't explain their form. 1 minute they're up, the next minute they're 9th and 10th in practice. So I really don't know what they're going to do.
Thanks, guys. A lot of questions. I think we're about to get some answers, Steve, as the excitement levels and the anticipation is high here in Bahrain ahead of the first race of the 2023 Formula One World Championship.
Just 3 minutes to go until the first lap of the brand new season. If you head to 5 Sports Extra right now, you'll get full commentary. We will bring you the first lap here on 5 Live as well. 2 games in the Premiership Rugby kicking off very, very shortly. Sale Sharks against Saracens is one of them. Adam Whitty is at the AJ Bell Stadium.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago it seemed certain these two would be playing out the Premiership final, with Sale and Saracens well clear of the chasing pack, but 2 defeats in a row and a possible third will drag the Sharks into a fascinating playoff fight with the rest of the division. Sam James returns for Sale as they look for their first win against Sarries in 2.5 years. For Saracens, the job is simple. 2 points or more today will guarantee not only a semi-final but a home semi with 4 games remaining after today. They make 4 changes from a win at Newcastle. Nick Ezekwe back in the lineup. The other game today, London Irish against Newcastle.
Last Sunday, Chelsea and Arsenal met in the 5th round of the Women's FA Cup. Today they face each other in the Women's League Cup final. Couple of minutes from kick-off. Chris Wise is at Selhurst Park.
Hi Steve, 2 titans of the game preparing to exchange blows again. Arsenal, the record 5-time winners of this competition. But Chelsea with the more recent success on all fronts, and of course led by serial winner Emma Hayes as well, who's chasing a 12th major trophy as Chelsea boss. These two only met last week, as you say, in the FA Cup. Chelsea won it 2-0. The Gunners, though, had their chances. Amongst the 22 that started that game, only one change today. It's at fullback for Arsenal. Moritz is in for Wienreuter. And there's a great noise inside Selhurst Park. It's a sellout. There's more than 24,000 here, and it smashes the previous record for a Conti Cup final.
There's also a great story on the BBC Sport website right now about Kirsty Dowell, the referee this afternoon, who's gone from working on the railways to refereeing major cup finals. Definitely recommend reading that. Selhurst Park sounding fantastic. So too, a little bit later this afternoon, Will Anfield. Full commentary at 4:30 of Liverpool versus Manchester United. Correspondent John Murray is there, and simply, John, it's one of the great fixtures on the calendar.
Yes, it is. I think it's one of the first fixtures that you look for when the list comes out during the course of the summer. Always has been, as far as I can remember, and probably will be for decades and decades. So there's great anticipation of it. Liverpool, I think there's a little bit of anxiety there, although they have gutsed out a couple of results in the Premier League since that astonishing game just a couple of weeks ago when Real Madrid came and won by 5-2 here. And I think Manchester United coming here possibly with more confidence than for years and years off the back of their current run. You know, what a stretch they've just had when you think about it. You know, the recent wins to knock Barcelona out of Europe, then the following Sunday go and win a cup final for the first time for 6 years for them, and then to follow that up again in the week with the cup win against West Ham to get through to the last 8 of the competition. And I know that at times they've not played at their best during the course of that, but they've got through and they've won the games, so it's set up very nicely.
They come here, Manchester United, arguably certainly as favourites, and that would have been inarguable for the last few years, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, although I'd probably agree with you. And I think part of the reason is that Real Madrid performance and what happened that night. But in the Premier League, let me just throw this one at you. Liverpool have lost one of their last 35 Premier League home matches. So to be in inverted commas underdogs when that's your record, some people will perhaps raise an eyebrow at that.
Yeah, although that suits them, doesn't it? I mean, Jurgen Klopp has been talking about the teams above them sort of feeling the pressure of the breath on the back of their necks. He's sort of setting them up for a final third of the season charge.
Yeah, and when you're the coming force, that's got a lot in it, hasn't it? To be the team that is playing catch up and getting results. And yes, if they're able to win today, they'll go 5th in the Premier League. 5th, so they'll go above Newcastle. And actually, they'll be 3 points behind Tottenham with a match in hand. But the little word if comes into that, doesn't it? They've got to beat Manchester United first to do that.
There's a great quote, John, in a piece in the Telegraph this afternoon with Trent Alexander-Arnold talking about the League Cup final win for Manchester United. Said, I watched the game, but as soon as they were getting ready to lift the trophy, I turned it off. I thought, there's no way I'm watching that. Knowing they lifted a trophy, it burns.
Yeah.
That sort of sums it up, doesn't it?
Yes, that's got future Liverpool captain written all over it, hasn't it? That quote.
It does. John, thank you very much indeed. Very much looking forward to that. Liverpool versus Manchester United in full at 4:30. If it has the dramatic start that the Women's League Cup final has had, we'll be in for a thriller. Chris Wise.
Chelsea are off to a stormer. They've scored inside the first 2 minutes of this game. Wrighton delivering it up towards the far post. Sam Kerr, ever potent, ever waiting for her moment, heads it in via the crossbar, bounces down off the line and into the roof of the net. Brilliant start for Chelsea. They're 1-0 up against Arsenal.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Brilliant start then for Chelsea in the Women's League Cup final, and Chris Wise will keep us up to date in the next couple of minutes. We'll be back underway in the Premier League as well, so we'll take you to the City Ground very shortly. Nottingham Forest trailing Everton by 2-1, but we are almost ready for the green lights to go out for the first Grand Prix of the brand new season. Let's get the first lap with commentator Jack Nichols.
Thank you very much, Steve. The cars are just pulling up onto the grid right in front of me, and on pole position it is Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Sergio Perez is alongside him. The sun has set here in Bahrain. The floodlights illuminate this spectacular desert circuit, and the final car of Pierre Gasly in the Alpine is about to pull into position. As I say, Red Bull front row, Verstappen ahead of Perez. Ferraris are 3rd and 4th, Leclerc and Sainz. Fernando Alonso is 5th in the Aston Martin. Then it's the 2 Mercedes of Russell and Hamilton in 6th and 7th. Here come the lights, the revs rise, and the 2023 Formula One World Championship season begins. And it's a pretty good getaway from both of the Ferraris. Verstappen has got an okay start, but Perez has got a bad one. And Perez is going to get squeezed either side, and there's almost contact as they run down towards the first corner. And Charles Leclerc goes to the outside and gets up into second place. Verstappen holds the lead. Leclerc is in second, Perez is third. Sainz is in fourth spot as they come now up towards turn 4. Alonso is still fifth. He's under big pressure from Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton goes to the inside into turn 4. Hamilton and Alonso wheel to wheel, and through he goes, and Stroll hits Alonso. Lance Stroll hits his teammate, but Alonso manages to keep going, but he may well have picked up a puncture from that, and he's fighting now with George Russell, who's managed to get ahead of Alonso too. So is Fernando Alonso's car going to be okay after that contact with his teammate? But Max Verstappen leads. Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari has got up into second place. Third is Sergio Perez. Fourth is Lewis Hamilton. Sam Bird, that was so close on the run down to the first corner. Those 3 cars, 3 abreast for the lead.
Oh, it was in my mouth, Jack. That was an incredible start. What bravery from everybody, all the front lot really. And then perfect start for Leclerc, perfect start for Hamilton, but the worst possible start for Aston Martin.
The 2 Aston Martins then coming together. Alonso is still running by the looks of things, but he's behind both Mercedes now. The top 6, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Hamilton and Russell. Full commentary on Sports Extra.
Jack, Sam, thank you very much indeed. So head to 5 Sports Extra for full commentary of the F1 here on 5 Live. We're back to the City Ground. Thrilling first half in the Premier League. It's Forest Everton. Clinton Morrison's with Vicky Sparks.
Thanks, Steve. 90 seconds played in this second half. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. No changes at half-time. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment, but we've just seen a little bit of argy-bargy, Clinton, between Demarai Gray and Serge Aurier. It all came about from a Nottingham Forest throw that Gray thought should have gone Everton's way, and they squared up, small S, squared up to each other, and then Demarai Gray just hit the ball out of Aurier's hands. Perhaps a little fortunate not to pick up a yellow card there, Gray.
Yeah, you're right, to be fair. It was nothing really and truly. I don't understand why he was getting frustrated, Demarai Gray, but it was good strong defending from Aurier.
So 2-1 Everton lead, 2 minutes played in this second half. Nottingham Forest in possession with Renan Lodi playing in the red shirts, the white shorts and the red socks. Everton in their home kit as well, the royal blue. And Felipe has it midway through the Nottingham Forest half. Plays the ball looking for Jack Colback, who does eventually get the better of Coleman, then goes down, wins the free kick a third of the way inside the Everton half. So Forest with Navas in goal. The back 4 of Aurier, Worrell, Felipe and Lodi. Ahead of them it's Freuler, Shelby and Colback, with Gibbs White, Wood and Johnson, who had got Forest back on level terms in the first half, up front. Shelby over this free kick for Nottingham Forest. Everton with Pickford in goal, the back 4 of Coleman, Keane, Tarkowski and Godfrey. Anana, Gay and Decore as the ball is swung into the area, comes out to Aurier on the edge of the box. Idrissa Gay will pick it up. Everton have a player down inside their own penalty area. Sliding challenge from Freuler on Dwight McNeil. Ball goes out of play for an Everton throw. So just to finish off that Everton lineup, Iwobi, Gray and McNeil up front. Gray putting Everton ahead early doors in the first half from the spot. Decore, I should say, with the header that gives them this 2-1 advantage. So Seamus Coleman preparing to take this throw for Everton. Throws it up to Alex Iwobi on the right-hand side. Header is won by Lodi, flicked on by Chris Wood, cleared away by Ben Godfrey. Felipe is there to meet it for Forest. Back forward by Idrissa Gay. Header won by Freuler for Forest. It's all very scrappy in the centre of the park as Joe Worrell clears long over the halfway line. Michael Keane's turn to win a header. James Tarkowski sends it forward for Everton. Decore will pick it up. And then Joe Worrell does exactly what Clinton Morrison has been asking for. Out to the right-hand side he goes. Good ball to find Brennan Johnson. Tugging the shirt there of Ben Godfrey, the assistant on the near side. Initially was happy, but one too many tugs on the shirt from Brennan Johnson, and it's a free kick to Everton deep inside their own territory. So if you're Steve Cooper, let's start with him at half-time. What do you say to your Nottingham Forest players? How do you change things up tactically in this second half, Clinton?
Well, he's got options from the bench, but I think he'll keep it for the next 15-20 minutes and see if they can get back into it. They had a 10-15 minute spell when they equalised. they were outstanding. They were on the front foot, and you thought they would get the second goal. But then Everton weathered that storm and got the second goal. And Everton got something to hold on to. I think Decore in there has been outstanding for Everton, making that third man run, supporting Damari Gray.
Yeah, it was a superb run for the goal that he just nodded past Keylor Navas as Everton come forward, playing from left to right at the City Ground in this second half here on 5 Live. Forest win possession though. Here is John Joe Shelvey. Nice layoff finds Freuler from Gibbs-White, and now Shelvey once again down the right-hand side, forward to Gibbs-White. Challenged by Tarkowski, who then clears the ball into Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White gets past him, goes down, and that is finally a free kick. Well, Forest wanted one earlier in the move. Eventually the whistle's gone and it's all boiling over on the far side of the pitch. John Joe Shelvey's involved. Forest will take this free kick, but the referee, John Brooks, just standing out of the players coming together. Shelvey's in there, Dwight McNeil as well. Tarkowski is splitting everything up. Well, this is what's at stake, Clinton. 4 points separating these sides coming into this. As things stand, Everton moving to within a point of Nottingham Forest, dragging them right back into the depths of the relegation battle. So much is on the line here, and we're seeing that passion from both sets of players.
Yeah, if you don't see this passion on the pitch, you might as well not play football. You have to be passionate. You want to keep your team in the Premier League. There's going to be passion on both sets. I don't know why Gibbs-White is being booked, because the Dwight McNeil runs 20 yards to go and confront him, and it is a free kick. He did win he is booking McNeil as well. Right decision, because he's run 20 yards to go and remonstrate with Morgan Gibbs-White. It was a foul.
So Gibbs-White and McNeil, as Clinton says, both into the book after all of that. But the key thing for Nottingham Forest is they have a set piece in a very good position here, just to the right of the penalty area, just up from that 18-yard line. It's a two-player Everton wall. It's Everton who've caused the most problems from free kicks so far. Can John Joe Shelvey finally get his delivery spot on? He swings it in, right-footed. Chris Wood's there. Michael Keane wins the header. It comes out to Colback, just outside the penalty area for Forest. Lays it off to Brennan Johnson, left-hand side. Johnson inside the box, back to Colback once more. Now out to the left, and Loddy has Gibbs-White there as an option. Loddy trying to turn away from Decore, and Iwobi goes down. No free kick given by John Brooks. Ball is cleared away by Everton. Colback wins the header. Decore with the footing. Colback comes away with it. Brilliant play by Jack Colback, applauded by the City Ground, and Clinton Morrison approves alongside me as well. Serge Aurier, ball into the penalty area. Gibbs-White chests it down on the edge of the box. Decore with the foot in, spins out, collected by Renan Loddy. Good start to this second half by Nottingham Forest, who trail by 2-1 here on 5 Live. Shelvey now plays it forward to Chris Wood, out to the left-hand side, and Morgan Gibbs-White plays the ball into the area, right-footed, headed away by Everton out of the area by Godfrey, collected by Colback. Now Aurier picks it up, and Freuler midway through the Everton half to Shelvey, drives on the edge of the area, little deflection, carries it through to Gibbs-White, who allows the ball to spin behind for a corner to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, you're right, Vicky. They've come out, whatever Steve Cooper said to them at half-time, they have come out on the front foot, but Everton are defending well. They have to defend well if they want to go home with the 3 points.
They lead by 2-1. 8 minutes into this second half, but Forest pushing for an equaliser for the second time in this game. Gibbs-White is over this corner. Johnson's there as the short option. Left hand in the air from Gibbs-White. Does play it short to Brennan Johnson, who takes on Gay down to the byline, fizzes the ball across. It's a poor delivery from Brennan Johnson, far too much power, spins out to midway through the Everton half, collected by Freuler. He raises a hand of apology there, Brennan Johnson, but that's disappointing from their top scorers. They send the ball up to the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Coleman. Felipe tries to get something on it. Iwobi will send it forward, up towards halfway into Damari Gray, tassling with Loddy. Ball goes out of play, throw is given the way of Everton. Now I think John Brooks was almost going to give that throw to Nottingham Forest, but the assistant has flagged, and he just changed his mind there, didn't he, John Brooks? Remember
and
the
assistant's
assistant
5 yards away and we're 100 yards away, and I can tell you that was a Forest throw. He got it wrong, but he's pressure from the bench. Sean Dyche is in his ear and he thinks I better go this way. That's why you have to have strong officials.
And you're not going to hear the gravelly voice of Sean Dyche right behind you, are you? Well, Everton have got the throw. Seamus Coleman takes it up to Alex Iwobi, and Decore plays it forward off Freuler. Coleman then plays it forward again, and again Everton have got the free kick. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on with Damari Gray. Felipe gets involved. Iwobi's then really shoved Felipe. It's all boiling over here. Decore with a push. Iwobi's had the most force behind it. He's now being pulled away by Morgan Gibbs-White. You need eyes in the back of your head here. I'm glad I've got you alongside me, Clinton, because I was going to come back and say Dyche again has roared for that free kick and has got it right in front of the referee John Brooks initially. Then it all kicked off further down the pitch. Yellow card from Renan Lodi. Let's see if Alex Iwobi gets a bit of punishment here. Damari Gray might, but I'll tell you what, Iwobi came in and got involved there too. But if he goes for the two that initially were getting involved, then it will be Damari Gray. So let's see. He's down at the moment, Gray, just readjusting his boot. John Brooks, I think, is waiting for him to get up. So Lodi's into the book. Gray is going to be into the book eventually. So that's the two that initially got involved there. But I tell you what, I mean, I know there's more pushing and shoving. Felipe's come in and Iwobi, and you don't necessarily want to book everybody. But you know what? Could have had a look at Felipe. Could have had a look at Iwobi.
Yeah, you're right, to be fair. But then I think you're right, Vic. You'll be booking everyone. And every player will be on a yellow card.
So, showing a little bit of leniency there, John Brooks, as Dwight McNeil swings this ball into the penalty area. It's headed on, Gray's in there, Shelby gets something on it, Iwobi with the swing, goes down, Nottingham Forest win possession, no real appeals there for Iwobi from a penalty now.
Yeah.
James Tarkowski's got in there, I think. The challenge was hurdled by Renan Lodi.
But he should play the advantage.
They're all shouting off at the City Ground. The yellow card is out for James Tarkowski. It's a yellow for the Everton defender. Lodi's back up to his feet to come and protest that it's... Oh no, Lodi's still down. It's Felipe that's come across to come and protest that perhaps there should have been more. Again, Clinton, there's a lot to unpick there. Where would you like to start?
No, he's late, to be fair. He is late. Tarkowski's late. It's a yellow card. But play on. Brennan Johnson's one-on-one with Seamus Coleman and Godfrey. Play the advantage and then come back. He's late. He does catch Lodi. He's not... He's just late. It's a yellow card. Play on. I don't think there's any arguing need to do. It's like a centre forward going to close down when a fullback, and that's all it was. But it's Tarkowski, a defender. It's the right decision.
Well, his leg's very high, but his leg is to block, not to challenge. So there's minimal contact on Lodi, but the momentum of the challenge isn't on Lodi. It's almost in front of Lodi. So Clinton's right. It is a yellow card, and given that, you have to say whether Forest would have wanted the advantage, but brilliant work by Johnson down the right-hand side, pulls the ball in, it's cleared away by Everton, and 12 minutes gone in this second half. Again, it's flown by. This match is certainly living up to the big billing that we gave it before the game as Navas comes out. Brilliant sliding interception to get there ahead of Iwobi. That was a risky looped ball up in the air from Felipe as Nottingham Forest come forward once more. John Joe Shelby out to the right-hand side, and Aurier swings the ball into the area. It's fierce. It's into the arms of Jordan Pickford. Another goal early on in the Women's League Cup final. Chris Wise.
What a start to this game. Arsenal have equalised. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1, 16 minutes in. Swept in by Stina Blackstenius from close range. 2 goals in the first 16 minutes. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1.
Cracking goals all over the place. And 5 Live this afternoon, and we hope for some more at Anfield this afternoon. 4:30 kickoff. Do join us. John Murray and Dion Dublin, your commentary team for that. Here at the City Ground, it is still Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. Brilliant start to this second half as Idrissa Gueye plays it out to the left-hand side. Here is Ben Godfrey for Everton. Fires it into John Joe Shelby. The header collected by Brendan Johnson. Shelby is then very well challenged in the centre by Idrissa Gueye. And the ball is looped out to this right-hand side, looking for the run of Seamus Coleman. He plays it forward. It's over the head of Lodi, but just past Iwobi as well. And into the arms of Keylor Navas.
It's like a basketball match, Rick. It's end-to-end, to be fair. You'd think there's about 5 or 10 minutes to go. It's still a good over half an hour plus added on time. But it's a good game of football, and Forest know they need to come out because they know they need to take something from this game.
Yeah, brilliant tempo here at the City Ground. Here is Felipe in possession for Nottingham Forest as Sean Dyche claps his hands together on the edge of his technical area. He's never won in the league at the City Ground as a manager. This is his 5th visit. If you talk about Everton's Premier League away form, Sean Dyche isn't great either, incidentally. He's only won 1 of his last 18 Premier League away games. Everton have only won 2 of their last 29, but they lead by 2 goals to 1 here. And a victory, if they could hold on for it, would take them to within a point of Nottingham Forest. Now, Colback's been penalised for a foul. Forest aren't happy. Anana is down. Gay's gone down again for Everton separately just outside the centre circle. Now, are we seeing a bit of gamesmanship here? I mean, Onana certainly felt that he was fouled there and the free kick has gone Everton's way. But we talk about this game is fantastic for a neutral. But if you're Sean Dyche, do you just want to slow things down a little bit, take some of the zip and the freneticness out of this match in which you lead by 2 goals to 1?
Yeah, they're winning the game. They don't mind stopping and starting Everton. You've got to manage the game sometimes as footballers. So these players will. And Nana, he's just being clever there, because Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't catch him at all. He's just being really clever. Idrissa Gueye, I don't understand. He might have a bit of blood on him, why the referees called him over, but that was a foul. Colback does pull back on his shirt, so I think the right decision was made there. But Forest can't get involved in a arguing match because they need to get that equaliser.
15 minutes gone in this breathless second half. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. Onana is up to his feet. Gibbs-White is over there as well. Little thumbs up from the Everton medical staff, so it looks as though Onana will be okay to continue. Liverpool against Manchester United coming up at 4:30. Highlights on Match of the Day 2 of today's games in the Premier League, plus a recap of all the other matches on Saturday as well. BBC One from 10:30. And do check out our latest podcast on BBC Sounds as well. The Football Daily is always there for you, and our new podcast, How to Buy a Football Club, a deep dive into events surrounding the potential sale of Manchester United. Earlier in the Scottish Premiership, Celtic 5-1 winners at St Mirren, and 1-1 in the Women's League Cup final between Chelsea and Arsenal. That was a 3 o'clock kickoff as the ball is out of play. If you want to listen to the opening race of the Formula 1 season, you can head over to 5 Sports Extra. That also getting underway at 3 o'clock, so in the early stages there. Here at the City Ground, 16 minutes gone in the second half. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. Everton win the throw deep inside Nottingham Forest territory. And Seamus Coleman will take this, leading by 2 goals to 1. Decore, who scored the goal that has given them that 2-1 advantage, is there. So is Gray, also a goal scorer for them this afternoon, but they've lost possession. Free kick to Nottingham Forest just outside their own corner flag. So let us head for an update from the Formula 1, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Jack Nichols.
Max Verstappen is really dominating here. He's 7 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc on the 11th lap of the Grand Prix. The fight behind Verstappen is fairly interesting. Sergio Perez is only just behind Leclerc. Sainz is a little bit further back, and Fernando Alonso is trying to attack George Russell, and Oscar Piastri is just overtaking Kevin Magnussen. So busy everywhere else in the field, but Verstappen running away with it currently.
Commentary continues on 5 Sports Extra. Nottingham Forest in possession just inside their own half. There's been a try in the Rugby Union. Sale Sharks against Saracens. Adam Whitty.
And Saracens have done all the early running and get the first try. Alex Lewington breaking down the right to score, and it's more than they deserve. With the conversion to come, Sale 0, Saracens 11.
Everton in possession on the halfway line, leading by 2 goals to 1. Decore dispossessed by Felipe and sent forward to Chris Wood, who's dropped deep to receive the ball. He's got Gibbs-White to his left, Johnson to his right, goes to Gibbs-White, left-hand side of the penalty area. Good defending by Everton, just marshals him away. Renan Lodi will pick it up, swings it in, cleared away by Godfrey. Serge Aurier gets a foot in midway through the Everton half. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. Sean Dyche animated, telling once again Everton's players to get up towards the halfway line, but Nottingham Forest still in possession. Gibbs-White loses it though, and Alex Iwobi will clear long, looking for the run through the centre of Damari Gray. Good challenge by Joe Worrell. Ball spins out of play. Now Gray stayed down here, and referee John Brooks very obviously looks at his watch. He's not going to allow play to restart until he's checked that Damari Gray is okay. It's a throw to Everton anyway, so they can delay this a little bit. Gray's back up to his feet, but he was just letting the City ground know there, wasn't he? I am keeping an eye on these stoppages.
Yeah, of course he is, because they're playing the game ever so well, Evan. But you would do. You're winning the game, Vicky, so you got to play. You got to play streetwise.
Ball forward by Michael Keane, headed away by Jack Colback. Decore with the interception. Gibbs-White picks it up though for Nottingham Forest. Chris Wood turns on the halfway line. Forward to Gibbs-White once more. Foot in by Gay. Keane sends it back to Tarkowski, and Gay receives it from Decore. Just run underneath the foot of Damari Gray, and Felipe has it for Forest.
Let me tell you something there. In that situation, usually a defender would go straight through ball and man, but he didn't want to, Lodi, because he's already been booked.
Ball out to the right-hand side for Forest, looking for the run of Brendan Johnson. Can't keep it in, and it will be a throw to Everton deep inside their own territory. Everton, who have scored multiple goals in a Premier League match for the first time in 14 games. They'd only scored 1 goal in their last 8 Premier League away games. I mean, if Sean Dyche can start to solve the goal-scoring problems, can start to solve the away form, I mean, that's a platform, isn't it? Ball is over the halfway line for Nottingham Forest. High boot there from Doucouré, so Forest have a free kick. There's a penalty in the Women's League Cup final. Chris White.
And it all might be about to spin because it's an Arsenal penalty. They were 1-0 down through that Kerr goal. They equalised through Blackstenius. McCabe has just been tripped up inside the box. So Kim Little, the Arsenal captain, stands over this penalty with the chance to strike the Gunners in front in the 24th minute. Here comes Little. Oh, she scores. She sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. And Arsenal lead Chelsea 2-1.
Thanks, Chris. Brilliant game at Selhurst Park. Brilliant game here at the City Ground as Keylor Navas plays the ball out under pressure inside his own penalty area. Good control by the centre-half Felipe, who's ended up on the left wing. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side. Almost brilliant for Brennan Johnson. Aurier does pick it up as Everton clear away. His ball forward for Gibbs-White, though, is thumped away by Tarkowski. And again, Sean Dyche waving that left arm like a windmill now, saying, get up, get up. He doesn't want them to sit too deep. And to be fair, Everton are responding to his cries on the touchline. But Nottingham Forest are coming forward. Good run by Brendan Johnson, just overran it outside the area. Almost ricochets to Lodi. Coleman gets the foot in. Keane comes out and wins the header. Good, intelligent header by Freuler. Cushioned out to Aurier on the right-hand side. This game still end-to-end. Good spell this for Forest. Aurier's ball in, it's poor, it's claimed by Pickford, and I think I need a breather.
You do need a breather because it's all Forest, and you're right, Sean Dyche is trying to get his team up, but Forest are dominating possession without creating any quality in that final third. You can have all the possession in the world, Vicky, it's what you do with the ball in the final third, and Forest haven't done that. But credit Everton, they're defending in their numbers and the game plan's working.
Midway through the second half, Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2, here on 5 Live. Commentary from Anfield. Liverpool against Manchester United, coming up from 4:30 with John Murray and Dion Dublin. All the way back, go Nottingham Forest to Keylor Navas. And now out to Joe Worrell, forward to Freuler. He's been better in this second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been better. He's been neat and tidy, picking up possession. He has been much better in this second half.
There is a groan as the ball forward goes all the way through from Freuler to Pickford, but to be fair, I think it might have got a little deflection on it. And the ball is through with the Everton number 1. Sean Dyche stands on the edge of his technical area, hand up to his mouth. And now both arms in the air as Everton concede the free kick just inside the Nottingham Forest half. John Joe Shelby is over it, but he's living every single moment down there, isn't he, Sean Dyche? Now he's talking to the 4th official, Thomas Bramall, making his point as Renan Lodi takes a little bit of a risk there, but does steer it back to Felipe. But it's notable, isn't it? Now Doucouré's pushing up alongside Damari Gray as the ball is steered all the way back by Forest to Navas. That they have made those intelligent runs into the area, Everton, and often it's been Doucouré, but at times we've seen Onana come up as he's doing so now. Iwobi's got into that central position. There has been a relative fluidity at times to Everton's attack, but there's fluidity now for Nottingham Forest coming down the right-hand side. Johnson's ball into the area. Gibbs-White brings it down inside the box, left-hand side of the area. Tried to pull it back to Lodi, but it was short, and Alex Iwobi steals it, and Iwobi is racing away over the halfway line. Great covering by Gibbs-White, who gave the ball away, but came back and put pressure on Iwobi. Sent forward by Coleman. Damari Gray's up there. Worrell's come out of the area to put pressure on the Everton man. Doucouré's there too. Damari Gray takes it into the corner. We're only midway through the second half. He's dispossessed by Lodi, and Felipe will bring it away. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why he took it to the corner. He should be really looking to go, but it was good. Gibbs-White did poor in that and then did excellent, giving the ball away needlessly when in his recovery was outstanding.
Such an open game here at the City Ground on 5 Live. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2. All goals in the first half as Joe Worrell squares it to Felipe, but Forest are enjoying the bulk of the possession at the moment as Felipe plays it over the halfway line. But as Clinton Morrison alongside me says, it's all about that clinical end product. And again, not seen enough of Chris Wood, hasn't had much of the service. Yes, they'll often look for Johnson or Gibbs-White down the right and the left respectively, but just wonder if they need to try something a little different, Nottingham Forest, as Shelby loses it on the far side.
On the bench that they're making a triple substitution, and it looks like Dennis, Ayew and Yates will be on.
So there's your answer. He will change things up, Steve Cooper, as Nottingham Forest come down the right-hand side. Header away by Michael Keane on the edge of the 6-yard box. Collected by Loddy, well pressured by Iwobi. Nice footwork by Loddy to keep possession for Nottingham Forest, who trail by 2-1 here on 5 Live. It's back to Felipe. You wonder when they'll get the chance to make this change for us, because the ball's just not going out of play at the moment, as Freuler brings it down the right-hand side. Lays it off to Serge Aurier. Back to Freuler, signing challenge by Nana. And Freuler will allow the ball to come out of play for the throw. He tried to take it quickly, but now they will get the chance to make the change.
I'll tell you one thing, Vicky, Dennis needs to do more. Every time I've seen him come on for Forest, he walks around and he doesn't do enough. So if he wants to start getting his Forest career after a good start, has to do better now.
Try in the Rugby Union, Adam Whitty.
Sale have no answer right now to Saracens, the league leaders, 16-0 up, a steamrollering rolling maul, forcing the Sharks back. Theo down with his second try in 2 games to make it 16-0 to Saracens with 30 minutes gone.
Thanks, Adam. So the triple substitution being made here. Chris Woods and Jack Colback, 2 of the players coming off. The 3 coming on, Yates, Dennis and Ayew.
Yeah, and Freuler was the other one.
And Freuler the other player to make way. That's called teamwork, Clinton
Morrison. Of course
Morrison.
it does. Teamwork makes the dream work.
So the triple change, what's the thinking from Steve Cooper behind that?
To be fair, I just think he's fresh legs and a bit of, trying to get impetus in this game. I think Ayew, he's worked with him. Everyone should say he's getting older, but he has got a goal in him. And it's just more attacking, because he's took off. He's only brought on Yates and he's brought on Dennis and Ayew. So it's 2 attackings and sacrificed 2 of his midfielders.
So Keylor Navas clears long downfield for Nottingham Forest, who trail by 2-1. Arsenal leading by the same scoreline in the Women's League Cup final. And out to the right-hand side goes Alex Iwobi for Everton, cleared away by Felipe at the back for Nottingham Forest.
Emmanuel
Dennis
more.
just on, dispossessed, and Iwobi has it once more. He's having a good second half, Iwobi. Gray sent it out to McNeil, right-hand side of the penalty area. Lays it off to Gray once more, a little bit short, back to Coleman, but Coleman gets there. Iwobi now, dinks it forward to Coleman, down to the byline, pulls the ball across. Good block by Felipe, spins away, then a little push by Coleman on Loddy, concedes the free kick. I think that ball was moving when Loddy took it there. In advice, they rushed it, Nottingham Forest. It's been given away. Idrissa Gueye has it just outside the penalty area. Decore in field to McNeil, central position, out to Iwobi on the right hand side once more, and now space for Gueye down to the byline. Has the opportunity to pull the ball across. Poor delivery from Idrissa Gueye, blocked again by Felipe, who was in a good position. And now can Nottingham Forest clear their lines? Yes, they can. Emmanuel Dennis forward to Gibbs White, 3-on-3 as Clinton Morrison says. Gibbs White tries to slide it through to Johnson, and the clearance and interception is made by Ben Godfrey. And what a key moment that could be in this match, because that was a great breaking opportunity for Nottingham Forest and they couldn't take advantage.
Because Gibbs White's going and all he's looking for is Brennan Johnson. He's not once looked on his left side to see Andre Ayew or Dennis there. It's a good touch from Dennis, to be fair. As I said, he has to do more, but he's never once looked on the left hand side. Ayew was the pass, because Godfrey defended ever so well.
Nottingham Forest still in possession on the halfway line, trailing by 2-1. Here is Ryan Yates, back from illness and back off the bench to try and get Forest back into this. Forward now to Brennan Johnson, out to the right-hand side, and Serge Aurier lays it off as they look to build once more. Forest with Gibbs White, back to Worrell, and now Shelby. They're dropping deep again. Sean Dyche has his palm outstretched as Everton try and marshal this Forest attack. Iwobi gets the better of Emmanuel Dennis. He tried to go round him, and Iwobi stands up well, and he's found by Decore. He's over the halfway line. Alex Iwobi might take this on himself, trying to get past Joe Worrell. Can't do so. Worrell slides in, gets something on it, but Iwobi still has it, plays it into Decore, into the penalty area. Gray's in acres of space if he can find him. He can't. He tried to pick out McNeil instead. Nottingham Forest trying to get a foot in. McNeil goes down. It's a corner. But if they could have picked out Damari Gray there, he was in so much space just to sweep home from 12 yards out.
And that's all down to Iwobi. Iwobi does what? Dennis again losing the ball. People can think I'm on him, but I see too much. It doesn't do enough for me. And if I was in that team, I'd be having a go at him, trying to do flicks and tricks. We're losing the game. Be positive and take on your fullback. Credit to Iwobi, great run, and they get bodies in the box. Decore, Dwight McNeil, they've been excellent, Everton, so far this afternoon.
Yep. It's been a really good performance, and Damari Gray, one of 2 changes made by Sean Dyche, has been a key player in that. Gray with both arms in the air. The heights up from the back for Everton. One of them is Michael Keane. Worrell beats him to the header. And Felipe will clear away for Nottingham Forest, who are looking to spring the counter. Felipe has Dennis ahead of him. Felipe still going down the left wing, the centre half. Infield to Emmanuel Dennis. Now lays it off to Ayew. Down the left he'll go as well, pursued by Iwobi. Coleman's there as well. Good run this by Ayew, down to the byline, but then a little miscontrol, does keep it in. Coleman gets the foot in, throw to Nottingham Forest, to Anfield for the team news, John Murray.
Well, Liverpool make 3 changes from midweek. Henderson, Gakpo and Robertson replaced by Cetic, Jota and Tsimikas, who are all substitutes. Manchester United make 6 changes from the cup team on Wednesday, but what they make it is the same side that started when they won the League Cup final last Sunday.
Thanks, John. Full commentary coming up from 4:30 with John and Dion Dublin as Everton win possession. Down the right-hand side they come, and Demarai Gray leading by 2-1 Everton at Nottingham Forest here on 5 Live. Lays it off to Doucouré, who scored the second of those goals. Everton's 2 goal scorers combining, and once more as Doucouré finds Demarai Gray. Right-hand side, pulls it back as Everton, for the first time with 15 minutes to play, just slow the play down a little bit. Yes, they took it into the corner on that one occasion, but it's been hell for leather still, and they're coming forward once more down the right hand side. Now Iwobi trying to squeeze his way past Dennis and Lodi, can't do so, and Emmanuel Dennis will bring the ball forward for Nottingham Forest. Again, Sean Dyche telling his Everton players to get back now as Dennis is fouled by Doucouré. Free kick to Nottingham Forest, and Steve Cooper's turn to jog over to the ball, which is rested by the feet of a cameraman, and comes back as Nottingham Forest prepare to take this free kick. 14 minutes plus added time to play. Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 2, Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't bring on Jesse Lingard or Sam Surridge, to be fair, and I still think there's time, but I would have probably put those 2 players, in particular Surridge. I think you need a goal, and he can get you a goal.
John Joe Shelvey over this free kick. What Nottingham Forest really need in this moment is a good delivery from John Joe Shelvey. Plays it in, right-footed to the edge of the area, headed away by Michael Keane, chested down by Gibbs White, 25 yards out, but his touch to take it back towards the penalty area was loose, and it's cleared away by Anana. Gay sends it out to the left-hand side into Doucouré. Good block, and it falls to Johnson. Plays it off to the right-hand side, and Yates back to Johnson inside the penalty area! 2-2! Back in the game for Nottingham Forest, and it's Brennan Johnson at the double. For the second time in this match, they level it up against Everton. It's Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 2.
Yeah, and I think it's been probably one of the best players on the pitch. I think Doucouré gives the ball away. It's a sloppy pass from Doucouré. All he has to do, it's a poor pass. He just has to find someone. He doesn't. But when Brennan Johnson gets into the position, brilliant play. He picks it up. And credit Ryan Yates. He can just flush that across the box. He cuts it back. But once he cuts it back, Vicky, it's a fantastic finish from Johnson right into that top corner. Outstanding. What a talent the young man has.
Second goal of the game. 9 goals now for the season for Nottingham Forest's top scorer. And how precious could that goal be? And Steve Cooper, he's waving his right arm in the air. He's turning to all 4 sides of the City ground and saying, come on, raise the noise, because we are going to raise this performance in the last 13 minutes.
Yeah, and he's right. He loves it, Coops. That little hand, with the hand come out and say, come on. But he does love it. But they've been the better team in the second half. But Everton have defended well. But evidently, if you're going to defend for the whole half, you're going to eventually concede.
Ball goes out of play for a throw to Nottingham Forest midway through their own half. 2-2 here on 5 Live. Let's head back to the F1 for an update. Jack Nichols.
Max Verstappen still leading this one, 10.6 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Sergio Perez, third in the other Red Bull, is closing in on Leclerc on a different tyre strategy. Lewis Hamilton currently running in 5th ahead of Alonso and George Russell, but Verstappen disappearing out at the front still, in control of this one as we approach 1/3 race distance.
Ayew dispossessed just outside the Everton penalty area, and then a sliding challenge in on Demarai Gray. So free kick to Everton inside the centre circle, and Felipe, the latest player to go into the book. Do you know, it feels like a derby, this, in terms of the tackles that are flying.
But you know what? There's a lot at stake. That's why, Vicky. Both these teams want to be playing Premier League football next season, so he expects a lot of tackles. And Felipe was thinking, you're not going anywhere, Demarai Gray. You've been nice and lively, but I'm not letting you get turned here.
And the sheer look of exasperation on Gray's face there. I mean, He knew that tackle was coming all day long. It is a free kick to Everton inside the centre circle. 2-2 at the City Ground. It's been a brilliant match here on 5 Live as the ball is just failed to be controlled on the byline by James Tarkowski, and it's a goal kick to Nottingham Forest. Another try in the Rugby Sales Sharks against Saracens. Adam Whitting.
It took 35 minutes for Sale to ask any questions of Saracens, but a Joe Carpenter try has got them back in the game. Sarri's down to 14 men, so Sale took advantage. The fullback diving over on the right. Saracens scored a penalty right from the restart, so 36 gone, Sale 7, Saracens 19.
Miscued header by John Joe Shelvey, and Everton pick it up. Dispossessed though by Serge Aurier, who's streaming forward for Nottingham Forest. Now he's furious because he's been penalised for a foul in winning that ball. Everton free kick on the halfway line.
They're getting the hum, the fans. Brendan Johnson, he pulls back the white man. No, it's off the ball. So the referee, Brooks, people are critical of the referee. It's the right decision. Brendan Johnson does not need to pull him back because Aurier is running the other way. Good decision from the referee, correct one. And
he needs to not talk himself into a booking here, Brendan Johnson. He's not happy at all with referee John Brooks, but it's free kick to Everton. 2-2, less than 10 minutes plus added time to play. It's been a brilliant match. Both sides have approached it in a great spirit. There's been passion, there's been endeavour, there's been attacking prowess. They played with a handbrake off for much of this game, both sides. And it's made it a very, very good watch indeed. It'll be a nervy final 10 minutes, though, for Nottingham Forest and Everton fans. Finally poised, 2-2. Idrissa Gueye plays the ball forward for Everton, bounces in the penalty area, cleared away by Felipe, comes straight back at Nottingham Forest. Onana, was he fouled there by Renan Lodi? No, to his credit, Onana got back up immediately. Good touch by Felipe, good continued challenge by Felipe. And Felipe sets the break away with Gibbs White. Here is Ayew, left-hand side. Dennis is an option. Gibbs White wants it in the centre. Ayew goes for goal himself, saved by Pickford. And the ball spins just past Brennan Johnson, who can't latch onto it for the follow-up. Looking for his hat-trick, looking for Nottingham Forest third, but it's still 2-2. And now here come Everton down the left-hand side. Breathless pace to this match still in the final 9 minutes here on 5 Live. 2-2. Gueye picks it up. Everton with the player down on the far side, but Gueye has it. Central position into the penalty area. Lays it off to Alex Iwobi. Was a little too strong for Iwobi. Good sliding challenge by Renan Lodi. It's out for an Everton throw. And Clinton Morrison, I cannot call this one.
No, I can't call it. Can I say there's another goal? Who knows? But I knew there'd be another one with the equaliser. But who knows? But you know what? Felipe in his second half has been outstanding, Vicky. He wins 2 tackles there and sets their tackle. And then Ayew does ever so well. And it's a good save from Pickford.
Here come Everton. Coleman into the area. Lovely footwork on the corner of the 6-yard box, but just about stopped in his tracks. And who was it again but Felipe?
He's been outstanding, Vic. He actually has been fantastic, to be fair. And I can't call it. I don't know if there's going to be a winner. I'll leave that to you.
Well, I've already told you I can't call it, so guess we'll wait and see what happens. Stay with us here on 5 Live. Frenetic conclusion. Final 8 minutes at the City Ground. Just a gunner. Gueye is brought down. Was he by Emmanuel Dennis? Oh, that looked like a clear free kick for Everton. Sean Dyche is furious. They've won it back. Michael Keane plays it forward. Blocked by Emmanuel Dennis. And now Forest trying to come forward with a 4-on-4. Decore is going to take one for the team there. Now, Decore has brought down Ayew. Is this going to be a yellow card? Well, to be honest, it clearly could have been a free kick earlier in the move, and it looks as though John Brooks is going to keep his cards in his pocket. But I think the game just got away from him for a few seconds there, John Brooks.
Yeah, because that is a foul. When you pull someone back and they're running, it is a foul. I do think Ayew didn't have the legs to get. That's a foul from Dennis at the other end and Idrissa Gueye. I don't know how the referee doesn't give that, because the play just kind of stopped there, Vicky.
Yeah, Everton won't be happy if anything comes of this, although good amount of play has passed, and this free kick for Nottingham Forest is only a third of the way inside the Everton half. 7 minutes to play, 2-2. John Joe Shelvey centred out to the right-hand side, headed on by Worrell. Powerful header out of the box by Michael Keane. Iwobi then clears away from Gueye's header, but Everton are really dropping deep here, and Brennan Johnson picks it up right-hand side, taking on Dwight McNeil. Brennan Johnson, brilliant run down to the byline, pulls it across, saved by Pickford. Pinball in the area, big shout for handball from Nottingham Forest. Not given, they still come. Emmanuel Dennis down the left-hand side, pulls the ball across, header won by Godfrey. Decore wins it on the edge of the area. Still Forest pick it up again with Yates out to the right-hand side. VAR will be checking that handball penalty penalty appeal for Forest, but Everton need to stay switched on. Gives wide, pulls it back, curling effort across the face of goal. Johnson looking for his hat-trick. It loops behind. It's a goal kick to Everton. It's all happening in the final moments of the City Ground, Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it's all Forest at the moment. It's brilliant play again down that right-hand side. Comes to Brennan Johnson. He tries to bend it into that far corner. It goes wide of Pickford's right-hand post, but there's only one team look like they're going to win at the moment, Vicky.
Try in the rugby. Sale Sharks against Saracens. Adam Whitty.
Try in half-time. Sale have scored and have got another try to get right back in touch with Saracens. Sam James storming down the left-hand side. A try that cuts the gap from 16-0 to 19-14 at half-time.
And to the Women's League Cup final, Chris Wise.
One couple of minutes left of the first half. Chelsea really have looked for large stages of this first half, flustered and rattled, most unlike them, but credit to the Gunners. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1.
Ball is all the way back inside the penalty area for Everton by Jordan Pickford. Again, he goes out to that left-hand side. This time the distribution is better. It's over the halfway line. It stays in play. We're approaching the final 5 minutes plus added time. Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 2. Are we to get a winner here on 5 Live? Commentary from Anfield to come. Liverpool against Manchester United. 6:06 follows that. But what a match it's been here as Everton win the ball with Tarkowski. Sent long over the halfway line. Felipe nods it back to Keylor Navas. Right, I'm going to ask you this, Clinton. But so far there's only been one answer. Both teams are still going for this win. Absolutely. 2-2. No sense of either side trying to close out a point here as Nottingham Forest come down the right-hand side and win a throw.
Yeah, that's because there's a lot of the teams yesterday got big results in and around it. So they're thinking, yeah, a point, you take it, but they need the 3 points. In particular, Everton. I think Forest will want to win their home games and beat teams in and around them. But if they get a point, they'll take it. But Everton, I think, need the 3 points, Vicky.
Nottingham Forest, it is in possession on the halfway line. Here is John Joe Shelby, squares it to Felipe in the centre circle. Has Lodi as an option. Sean Dyche again is waving his players forward as Forest go all the way back to Keylor Navas. And we've literally just had that conversation. And for the first time, Forest just slow things down. 4 minutes plus out of time to play. It is hard as a player. Does this now come down to temperament? Which players want to take a risk and which don't?
Yeah, definitely. You're spot on.
Ball clear by Nottingham Forest, up towards halfway. Header is won by Coleman. Here is Iwobi, has Doucouré down the right-hand side. Try to slide it through to Doucouré. Again, Felipe is there. Good sliding challenge by Renan Lodi. Gay then snapping at his heels. Gives the free kick away. Now, did Idrissa Gay trip Lodi off the ball? John Brooks is happy to let it go. Nottingham Forest have played it back to Navas. Well, Lodi there, he plays the free kick really quickly because he wants to get things moving. Yes, great, Gay then tangles with him again, but if you're trying to get the ball moving, don't then go down and say, exactly. Oh, you know, come on, let's have another free kick. You've made your decision, let's play on, and that's what John Brooks felt as well. Tom Davies is preparing to come on for Everton, who are going to make a double change as the ball is all the way back with Keylor Navas, and Neil Maupay as well is going to enter the fray. Sean Dyche, the windmill arms are off again, waving on the touchline, trying to galvanise this Everton side. Both sides have put in a really passionate performance. Everton overall, I would say, have been the better side, but Nottingham Forest have fought their way back into this match twice. Can either side find a winner? Godfrey will clear away for Everton up towards halfway. 2.5 minutes plus added time to play. 2-2 here on 5 Live. Headed forward for Forest by Emmanuel Dennis. Away by Michael Keane. Doucouré out to Iwobi on the right hand side. Sends it forward to Doucouré. Oh, brilliant back heel to Iwobi, who plays it forward. Little deflection on the way through, but Iwobi's still going. Yates. Excellent covering by Ryan Yates, and big high five between himself and Keylor Navas. That would have been a brilliant goal by Iwobi.
It's great football, to be fair. Iwobi does well. The touch from Doucouré is outstanding, and Iwobi's in. And he's coming off his last bit of action. I can't believe it because he's had a good game, but maybe a bit of tired legs and freshening it up.
Tired legs?
I know.
We've just seen it.
I know, but I don't know what he's thinking, Sean Dyche, because I wouldn't have took. He's probably taking off two of their better players in Damari Gray or Iwobi, but maybe he's thinking what we got, we keep at the moment. But you're right, Vicky. I would have left him on for sure. Probably would have been McNeil that would have come off for me.
Well, he looks pretty disappointed, Alex Iwobi, going straight to the bench. So yes, Maupay and Davis are on. Damari Gray and Iwobi are off. Seamus Coleman has it down the right-hand side. Dink forward, looking for Tom Davies in the area. Cleared away by Felipe. Davies then collides with Felipe. It's a free kick to Nottingham Forest inside their box. And again, I know we've said it, he's been outstanding in this second half, Felipe.
I was just about to say, Vic, you must have read my mind. We criticised him how he was on the ball, not how he defended. But you know what? To come into English football and adapt that so quickly where he's had to, he's been outstanding. I think he defends well. He wants to get forward. He's comfortable in possession. I think he's been brilliant alongside Joe Worrell this afternoon.
So, Keylor Navas over this free kick, slips as he takes it, but the clearance is good enough over the halfway line. Davis wins the header, had no idea where that ball went there, and it bounces out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. We're into the final minute of normal time. It's 2-2 here on 5 Live as Worrell clears long up towards Brennan Johnson on a hat-trick, headed away by Godfrey. Gibbs White will win it back for Forest. Nice cushioned header out to Serge Aurier, who goes back to Joe Worrell on the halfway line. Worrell's long ball forward, looking for the run of Johnson. Again, Godfrey's there. He's been really impressive, Ben Godfrey. Another standout player for Everton, who can't win the ball in their own half, and Ayew has it out to the right-hand side of the penalty area. Lays it off to Johnson, who's just limping away there. That's a concern for Forest as Aurier plays the ball into the area. Godfrey's there once more. Clears away. It's out for a Forest throw. And again, as we enter 5 minutes of added time, the 2 changes he made, Sean Dyche. First starts under Dyche for Everton, for Gray and Godfrey, and they've both been outstanding.
No, they have, and you know what? Godfrey's had a hard game. I know people will look and say Brennan Johnson scored the 2 goals, and he has gave him a hard time, but there's not many fullbacks can deal with Brennan Johnson when he's in this thing, so he has done well.
Miscontrol by Neil Maupay. Tom Davies will chase and put Felipe under pressure, and it steers it back to Keylor Navas. Into 5 minutes of added time. 2-2. Which way is it going to go? Nottingham Forest over the halfway line. The ball is cleared away by Coleman. It's spun back out to the left-hand side. Won't be kept in by Emmanuel Dennis. And Everton have the throw. And now will we see Everton just start to slow things down a little bit, Clinton?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just listening to that. They just said who the man of the match was, and it was Brennan Johnson, wasn't it? Would you agree with that, Vic?
I think I would. 2 goals.
Of course,
I think that's
definitely.
fair enough.
He's been outstanding.
2 goals. That's made it 2-2 as Renan Loddy goes down. Play continues. Tom Davies has it right-hand side. Good block by Joe Worrell. It's behind for a corner now. Nottingham Forest not too happy there.
This is a chance now, Vic, because Everton have been a threat from set pieces. You still got the likes of Keane and Nana, Tarkowski coming into the box. There will be a threat.
And they're making their way forwards. The heights from the back. 2 players that Sean Dyche knows so well from his time at Burnley. Michael Keane given the start again alongside James Tarkowski. Dwight McNeil stands over this for Everton. We're into added time. It's 2-2. What can Everton do here? McNeil, high looping ball, headed back across. Still not cleared by Nottingham Forest. It's looped back up towards the 6-yard box. Shelby wins the header, and the free kick has gone the way of Nottingham Forest. As there's been another goal in the Women's League Cup final. Chris White.
Extraordinary half for Arsenal. They're 3-1 up at the break against Chelsea. Raffaelli, the Brazilian centre-half, meeting a corner from close range. There's the half-time whistle. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1.
Thanks, Chris. So, potential shock on the cards there. Yes, these are 2 giants in the women's game, but Chelsea the favourites for most people going into that one, although Arsenal will say, well, look at our pedigree, look at the quality we still have in our squad, and we certainly were never going to write ourselves out of this one. Nottingham Forest bringing the ball down the right-hand side. Gibbs White goes down, and the goal kick is given. It's 2-2. Pickford's come across very quickly to try and get that ball away from Gibbs White, who hasn't given the ball back to him. He's now running back, Gibbs White, and saying, oh, look, I'll be nice. I'll put it on your 6-yard box for you. It's a big cheer from the City ground, and Jordan Pickford just calmed himself down there, and that didn't boil over.
Yeah, exactly. He did the right thing there, Gibbs White. He didn't run away with it. He put it on his spot for him and said, there you go.
So, 2 minutes of added time left to play. It's 2-2 between Nottingham Forest and Everton. And Everton have won possession with Idrissa Gueye. Out to the left-hand side they go. Ball into the penalty area. Joe Worrell, good control, under pressure from Maupay. Needs to complete the clearance and does so. He's being screamed at by the City ground there just to get it over halfway. And he does. Tarkowski's clearance up towards the halfway line is brought down by Idrissa Gueye, and the Nottingham Forest fans frustrated that the midfield just vacated itself there. But Emmanuel Dennis has won it back. Oh, careful there. Emmanuel Dennis won it back from Tom Davies. He's given the free kick, but he's lashed out there, Dennis. Is Davies going to be booked for the foul? Yes, he is. Now, is Emmanuel Dennis going to be booked by John Brooks for his reaction there? To be fair to Davies, he didn't make a meal of it.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's almost grabbed Davies' neck in a bit of a bear hug. We know how much this means, but he's just got to be careful there, Emmanuel Dennis. He's already won the free kick, but no further action taken by John Brooks.
No, you're right. He's a lucky boy. He did raise his hand, but I don't think there was enough in it. But you're right, Vic. He raised it and tried to throw Davies, but you're right. Davies, great reaction.
So, free kick into the penalty area, headed on by Felipe for Nottingham Forest, away by Godfrey. Aurier drives the shot in, it's blocked by Anana inside the box, spins out to the right-hand side. We're into the final 40 seconds at the City Ground on 5 Live. Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 2, Forest with the throw, midway through the Everton half. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it's been a great game, hasn't it, Vicky? End to end. Well, we get one more big chance. Oh, foul throw.
Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding. Serge Aurier. I mean, talk about an anticlimax to one of the best games I've seen all season. No. Oh, Everton throw midway through the Forest half. And it's like a balloon has been punctured inside the City Ground. And I think Everton with the throw midway through their own half, we might just settle for 2-2. We play on, final seconds, over the head of Anana on the halfway line, and there you go. It's been a brilliant match. It finishes 2-2. Nottingham Forest coming from behind twice, courtesy of Brennan Johnson, including late on in this second half. Applause all round at the City Ground. Clinton Morrison, that was a cracker.
It was a brilliant game, unbelievable game, end to end, and that's what you want when you're fighting for relegation. You want people to throw their body on the line, run around, make tackles, score goals, and that's what it is. It was a brilliant, and you know what? Everyone will take confidence from this. They managed to score 2 goals in a game, which is very good for them. Forest will probably be slightly disappointed because they want to win their home games and beat the teams in and around them, but they're the mountain to climb, and a point, is it good for any team? I think it's a better point for Forest than it is Everton.
So it's pretty much as you were in the Premier League table. Everton still 18th now in the relegation zone, only on goal difference. Nottingham Forest sit 14th, still the 4 points separating them. But Steve, we bigged this up beforehand, and I think it lived up to its billing. Finishes 2-2.
I think even more so, yeah, Vicky. Because the thing is, Clinton, there was no team there feeling sorry for themselves, or sitting back worrying about the position they find themselves in. That was blood and thunder for 90 minutes. It was brilliant.
No, it was brilliant. If both of these teams play like this from now to the rest of the season, they'll be safe, Crossy, because it was an outstanding. They both went for it, didn't feel sorry for themselves, kept on going to the 95th minute, and you always thought, could there be another goal in it? It was Forest that the most likely in the second half. They were pushing. Everton defended well, but yeah, the players are just clapping their fans and they're getting a good response, and it's good though. It was a good game of football. I think both teams play like that, they've got a great chance of surviving.
Morgan Gibbs-White just giving a big hug to Damari Gray there. So many of the headlines, Vicky, about Forest season have been about Gibbs-White and his performances, but Brennan Johnson was the star of their promotion season, and what a day for him to have a great game.
Yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he, last season? Championship Young Player of the Year, and just outstanding today. I mean, and I think it was such an interesting battle between him and Godfrey, and I still think that Godfrey did very well for large amounts of that game, but they kept looking for him. Brennan Johnson, Nottingham Forest, they kept looking, and those 2 goals today showed why. Crucial goals, vitally important goals. And yeah, he was very good, and I think as we picked up during commentary, Felipe as well really stepped up in the second half, but everywhere on the pitch for both sides. I mean, Alex Iwobi, I still can't understand why Sean Dyche took him off after he'd sprinted from the halfway line and created such a brilliant chance. It would have been a fantastic solo goal. You've got the discussion over Keane and Tarkowski, who generally work well together at centre half. The question over whether Conor Cody's going to be able to get back into the side. But the key thing for Everton is goals. And the change that Dyche made with Calvert-Lewin still unavailable. Damari Gray came in, did very well, scored from the spot. Decore getting in the right positions as well. And there was they put the bodies in the area, Everton, and it paid off.